somehow seamless is just no longer in the cards. In the morning, everybody. Thank you, Darren O'Neill. You're connected to Austin, Texas.
So, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for your Gitmo Nation National Anthem.
In the morning, Gitmo Nation, we are all charged up to be human resources and service in all lands and all ships at sea. From the east to west, down under to the lowlands and beyond. We are happy and distracted slaves. Hear our Gitmo Nation song.
When I'm a human fly, I said it is right. I said
Joe Biden.
I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate.
Joe Biden.
You know, we have to come together. That's why I'm running for the Senate.
Joe Biden.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
And then that's how they're going to poison him. They're trying to kill him. That's that new that they got, the spies.
CIA.
That's that mosquito that can kills you. That's a world record for a fly not moving.
Come on, man.
The fly is still there. The fly is still there. That is a robotic fly, man. They're trying to take him out, I think, man.
It's still there, right? It's still there, right?
It had to be done.
That's why it is.
This is not about President Trump.
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
We're at an important moment in our history. A time when progress, which has been far too slow, feels suddenly poised to move forward in a great leap.
I've done the work.
Is what it is.
You don't have a choice.
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
I'm gonna bitch a little bit, can I?
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
And these people will stop at nothing.
If populations do not follow the basic public health principles, there is only one way this pandemic is going to go.
It's scary.
Is what it is.
Do it live.
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
Weirdly interesting falsehoods.
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
If you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
Damn, ruthless.
Is what it is.
Enough is
I'm
enough.
going to say that again.
That's why it is.
It's so simple.
It's wrong.
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
Uncertainty could continue to erode public trust in institutions and the very democratic running of the United States. And that's even without considering possible violence in the street.
Is what it is.
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
You just have to laugh through the pain sometimes.
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
Well, the word cure is a bit of an overpromise. You know, that makes it sound a little concerned about this disease should go away. And that's the last thing we want people to think about.
Is what it is.
Klobuchar's an asshole.
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
I'm going to say that again.
That's why it is.
Between now and November 3rd, God knows what can happen.
Welcome to American Idol. So what are you going to sing today?
I'm going to sing an honest version of the Democratic Party election theme for 2020.
All right, go for it.
I'd like to dedicate this to Premier Dan Andrews of Her Majesty's Prison State of Victoria. We're going to build back better our kleptocracy and abuse our authority. We're going to build back better, so you'd better behave. We're in charge, so shut up, slave. With mail-in fraud, we're going to steal this election and not let them overturn Michael Flynn's conviction. Out of these times of darkness, we will light the way with the burning buildings. Antifa torch today. We're going to build back better our monopoly of globalist hegemony. We're going to build back better our progressive Reich while China does what it likes. More social justice to control the population. Green New Deal to thwart your wealth creation. We've got the popular vote, so disband the electoral college. It's black lives that matter, but not the life that's orange. We're going to build back better ideology to take away your sovereignty. We're going to build back better the ruling elite, and so your basic freedoms are now obsolete. We're going to build back better overreaching government, cause you're no better than cattle for rent. We're going to build back better. We're going to keep you muted. We're going to run your lives cause you're too stupid. We're going to build back better. And if you don't want trouble, keep your social distance and put on your muzzle. We're going to build back better. So take a hike, you stupid slaves. We're going to do what we like.
Yo, in the morning. Hello?
Yeah. Hey.
Yo. I'm here.
Can you kill the stream for a minute?
Sure.
Hey everybody, this is your favorite neighborhood alien, Zindu. You're listening to the No Agenda stream.
What?
Okay, scream. The stream is back on. The stream. Now, why do I sound all fuzzy? Hold on a second. Why do I sound fuzzy? I don't know. 2, 1, 2, 2. Less fuzzy. 1, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2.
Sound good here.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. I'm missing some mid. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Nope. 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Ah, it's fuzzy. 2, 2. I know what I'm hearing. 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. Check 2, 2. There's something weird. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Do I sound fuzzy too?
No, you sound. That's why I'm changing. Is you sound much better than me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Check 2. That's weird. Why is that? 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2. How about this? 1, 2, 3. Check 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. That makes no difference there. 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1, 2. Ha! 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'll have to do. All right.
Fat lady! Bitch! Valkyrie! It's the Norwegian
All right, everybody. We have 1-2'd our way into readiness. Go ahead and catch that bat signal. Retweet the test.
Adam
1, 2,
Curry,
3, 4,
John C.
5, 6,
Dvorak.
7. Yo. Beautiful. Let me see if this is the one. Oh, gardeners show up. Beautiful. Right on time.
What's the temperature?
It's warm here.
Hot here.
Yeah, it's probably already 80. Hold on. Okie doke. It sounds weird. Something sounds weird. I'm not sure.
Your implants aren't going low battery?
No, I'm not wearing the implants. Thanks. And if that's the case, then it just says battery low. Battery low.
Oh, it talks to you.
What?
It talks to you.
It does. She. Yeah. Not my favorite voice. Battery low. Battery low. Okay, that's better.
How often does that happen?
Oh, it only happens after a long day with a lot of streaming audio. So usually I can get a full day, like 16, 17 hours.
Huh.
Yeah. With these new ones, though, it hasn't happened that I've actually run out, but with these new ones, they're rechargeable, so you can't just pop a new battery in, which is the downside of rechargeable.
Well, not necessarily. Like with my phone, for example, and I think everyone can equate with this. You just simply take the back of the phone off and put a new battery in.
Yeah, exactly. That's how hearing aids work.
Yeah.
There's no micro technology. I'm not running dual quad-core processors that are completely housed in a watertight encasing. There's no back to take off. There's no back to build better.
Luckily, today's phones still allow for that.
Right. Is this your volume?
No.
Okay, could you give me your volume so I know?
This is my volume here.
And I've got fucking...
If I'm talking into the mic, I'm talking into the mic from here, and I might raise my voice, but I'll pull back a bit.
All right. I've got feedback, got all kinds of stuff happening here. Hello, testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. I'm deafer than normal today, I guess.
Why?
It's I don't know. It's age. How about that? Why? Because my hearing's going.
I'd like to know.
My eyesight is going. My hearing is going.
Your eyesight?
Yeah.
Ready? Because I know what's not going.
I'm ready to hit it.
Your reflexes.
Sure.
Hit it.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, October 15th, 2020. This is your award-winning Gimmo Nation Media Assassination episode 1286.
This is No Agenda.
Cracking laptops and broadcasting live from Opportunity Zone 33 here in the frontier, Boston, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where we're told that if the Democrats win, the Republicans will be rounded up and shot. Wow. I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Who told you that?
Well, first of all, it was a Scott Adams theory, and then I started noticing it cropping up. We have for example, up in Washington, county prosecutor has again denigrated constituents, this time with the alarming claim that we must cleanse society of the diseased thinking of Trump supporters.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, Greg Banks, he's up there. He's an Island County prosecutor. These prosecutors are all over the place. He's notoriously anti-Trump, and it goes on and on. But then you think, well, this guy's just a lunatic. But I don't know why he got elected, but he's a lunatic. Mm-hmm. And then you hear this from Keith Olbermann. I got the clip. This is the Olbermann is insane clip.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think I saw this on the airplane on the way to Vegas. Hold on a second.
Why would they show this on an airplane?
No, I was on my phone.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Let us brace ourselves. The task is twofold. The terrorist Trump must be defeated, must be destroyed, must be devoured at the ballot box. And then he and his enablers and his supporters and his collaborators and the Mike Lees and the William Barrs and the Sean Hannitys and the Mike Pences and the Rudy Giulianis and the Kyle Rittenhouses and the Amy Coney Barretts must be prosecuted and convicted and removed from our society while we try to rebuild it.
He should have said, while we tried to build it back better. That would have made it a perfect clip.
Yeah, it would have been a perfect.
He came close. He came close. Well, I'm going to agree with him. I'm going to agree with Olbermann. I'm going to agree with California. And this is because of the most recent meetup that we had in Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, meetup report.
Yeah.
I have to give the bad news before you do that.
Okay.
7-car Zephyr.
Oh, my God, ladies and gentlemen. Was it just 7-car, no slow? Or what was the speed?
It was a medium speed. It wasn't fast. What time is it? It's pretty much 30 seconds late.
All right, CNBC Squawk Box, there you go. It's not good news for today. We have a 7-car Zephyr, medium speed, Bitcoin 11,434, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we have for you.
Oh, my God! Woo! Listen to that horn!
And the Zephyr soon will no longer be here with us on a show day. When does that end?
I don't know. I thought it should.
I thought it was over already. I thought it was over in October.
I thought so too, but
So we went to Vegas and had a fantastic meetup. It was really incredible because for a fleeting moment, everything was normal again. Just for a fleeting moment in an area of, I don't know, it was a yard at this bar, an outside kind of patio, and we had about 60 people, and it was glorious. We were, everyone came in without masks, just everyone hanging out, having a good time, spitting in each other's face, shaking hands, hugging, recognition. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. Citizen X showed up. She's like the gadfly, buzzing all over, jumping on people. It was so nice. It was as if everybody completely forgot what was going on. And that was just, I can't even explain how good that felt. And the people we had there, John, at this Vegas meetup were top notch. These were professionals in every single, we had the Vegas fire chief there. The chief of the fire chief of
what?
Yes. The Las Vegas
fire, the chief of was he there just to make sure that we didn't burn the place down, or was he a no agenda listener?
No, he was there. He's a no agenda listener with his wife. And he came specifically, he wanted to share a scotch with me, which eventually we got around to. He got me a nice Lefroy, which was a welcome little moment. We had teachers, nurses, we had EMTs, all in the professional class of service. Pretty much everybody. Of course, a lot of people who work in Vegas who've been out. In Vegas, man, that place is hosed. It is depressing. It's, and I salute our producers there. What an incredibly depressing place.
This is the one, I hate to be a downer dolly or whatever you can use as a term. But the one reason that I would have gone to the Vegas thing for the sole purpose of seeing what I keep being told about the place being kind of depressing, because it's a jump in place 24/7 every day of the year, all years after years. And now it's supposed to be kind of half dead. And I'd love to see that. And I haven't seen it. So
by the way, I just got a note from the back office. He was the fire chief. Captain. I'm sorry. Fire captain. Well, good enough for me.
Okay.
Fire captain.
We
stayed at the Encore, which was Dame Angela got it for us completely comped. We only had to pay the resort fee. That was really nice. And we had a dynamite room. But you start off with the room. Fantastic room, great view. Minibar is hammered shut. There's no water in the room. Yeah, of course, you can't have for COVID, you can't have anything traveling. Oh, no. I mean, they really don't even want to clean your room. And here's a couple of plastic cups you can drink tap water out of, which you try to open up the plastic around the cup, and then the cup immediately splits in 3 pieces. I
love those plastic cups. They add the class to a motel.
They didn't even have one of those hokey coffee machines in the room. We couldn't even do that. So,
they took the coffee machine out too?
Yeah, no coffee machines, all of that. And I think at this point, it's just bullshit. They just want to cut costs. They fired everybody.
Well, if there's nobody going there, they got to do everything they can to cut costs. Those big buildings cost a fortune to just heat up.
Then just say so. Just tell me the truth. I'm so tired of all the bull crap lies. And so
as opposed to the other kind of lies.
Yeah, well, I realized because I couldn't quite figure out why I'm tired. I'm just tired, and I realized I'm also emotionally tired, and there's a couple of reasons, and this will come back to being rounded up. I learned so much. Everything we've been talking about was confirmed, and without fail, every single person said, "Thank you and John so much. Because of you, I have been able to make it through this." Gosh, my headphones are. Hold on a second. I am squealing like a crazy man. Huh? How's this? 1 2 1 2 1 2. Better. Gosh, do you hear it? You don't hear my headphones?
No.
Okay, they're squawking. Everybody had the same. Everyone had the same message. Was you have no idea, and it makes me feel incredibly good. You have no idea how you. I mean, we had nurse couples, both of them nurses. Like everything you said was so right, and we were. One EMT was there, was contracted out for the emergency hospital in Vegas. He was basically sat there for months twiddling his thumbs. We had a respiratory technician who's an instructor, and she said, everything you said is right, all the way down to, and I'm not blaming anyone, nor did she, said, we didn't know what to do. We were given instructions. Wir haben es nicht gewusst. And definitely people died unnecessarily on ventilators. You just imagine the kind of information I got? It's like, oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Gross.
Yeah, so it was, gross. Gross is probably, it's a good way to look at it. So, but, it was so fantastic. We had service personnel. One of our producers was there. We had his leg and his arm blown off and put back on, and he had the x-rays to show it. So,
oh, brother.
Yeah. But I just didn't feel good afterwards, and we went out to dinner with Dame Angela and Patrick Coble and, of course, the whole Schill family, and we had a great time. And I realized that every single person had said the following to me, that they could not speak their mind where they worked. They could not speak their mind because they were all afraid of getting fired. And we had media professionals who sit day in, day out making complete bull crap, equity, equality, Black Lives Matter stuff for their corporations, for media, for television. They're all frustrated, and no one feels like they can say anything for fear of their job. And, oops, John just disappeared. Let me see what happened. In the middle of my impassioned speech. What?
Sorry.
Oh, yes, okay. Was that me or you?
I knocked something over.
Okay, all right, hold on. Let me get back.
Wait. I'm going to tell you where you left off, where I heard last. Every single person said the following to me.
Okay, let me just see where that was.
Yeah, it's a while ago.
Oh, you were gone that long?
I was gone for a while, yeah.
Holy crap. Okay, hold on.
I missed a bunch of good stuff, apparently.
I don't know how far back I have to go. Hold on. All afraid of getting fired. Here we go. Mind where they worked. Okay. Every single person. I'll start over. Didn't miss that much.
Wait. Instead
okay, here, listen. All right, listen. They could not speak their mind because they were all afraid of getting fired. And we had media professionals who sit day in, day out making complete bull crap, equity, equality, Black Lives Matter stuff for their corporations, for media, for television. They're all frustrated, and no one feels like they can say anything for fear of their job. And, oops, John just disappeared. Okay, so after their job, hold on. Say anything for fear of their job. And so I realized that because we have made ourselves uncancelable with the help of Gitmo Nation, because we can eat, I simultaneously...
every so often I reflect on that myself.
Yes. So that made me very happy, of course. But on the other hand, I am truly deeply, deeply saddened that no one feels they can stand up for themselves and they are trapped. And if no one does that now, and I don't even think it matters who wins the election, if no one does that, you're screwed, because we all wear the masks outside of our little party. We're all chicken shit when it comes down to it. And it goes way beyond COVID. It's all the social engineering that's happening, and people are afraid for their livelihoods. And it doesn't matter which president is in place. If we don't have the balls to stand up and say no and be willing to take the consequences, it's over. It really is. I think it's done. Because, they're coming for your cash next.
Yeah.
And total control, total control. And I need a break because I'm just mentally worn down from it all. And I know everybody is mentally worn down. But if no one will stand up for themselves, well, then we get exactly what we deserve. And that really made me sad. I'm very, very sad about it.
Here's what makes me sad. Let's just take yours one step further. The people who are in the industry that are sincerely promoting a cashless society, sincerely promoting wearing masks all the time, people that are I would use the Soviet term, useless idiots, that are useful.
Yes, of course.
It was a Freudian slip.
Yeah, we got you.
Idiots.
Yeah.
That go out there and they promote this is so great. In fact, we have here at the mechanic, we do use Mechanics Bank, where they recently switched from the MasterCard for our regular banking to a Visa card with one of these smart. Everyone has the regular normal smart chip. This has got the smart tap it chip. Mm-hmm. And Jay's got, I didn't implement mine yet. I said, I'm waiting until my other one completely expires. I'm not putting this thing online until I'm ready, until I have to. Jay says, yeah, it's really cool. You can just tap things, you tap it. Because it's got, the chip just looks different. It's got it's got a little, some induction current and circuit in it.
Yeah, it's basically RFID.
It's an RFID chip.
Yeah.
And but people, this is so much more convenient and this and that. And, we don't need cash. And there's just all in. And I'm not talking about people that are like you had at the meetup who are saying, geez, this is terrible. But the people think this is great.
Yeah. Well, and
there are more people that think this is great than there are realists.
Well, this is out of order, but I'll just play a quick 1 minute and 20 clip since we bring it up here. This is Richard Werner. He's professor at De Montfort University in Deutschland, and he did a speech recently about what the central banks are doing. And if we want to, we can talk about how money is created, but I think a lot of people already understand how that works, so they've read up on the Federal Reserve or fractional reserve banking. But this comes right along with the Fed now. It'll be 2023. It's not going to be tomorrow, but it will be in the form of another stimulus, and we're going to go to a digital dollar, and the same is happening everywhere. Fifi Lagarde in Europe says we're doing a digital euro. Every country is doing a digital currency, a digital version of their currency, and Richard Werner took a moment just to explain what that means.
How have the central bankers, this is my last slide because my 12 minutes is just up, have reacted to the truth coming out? They admit that they've been telling porkies, and now they...
It took me a moment to figure out porkies, and then I remembered my Australian rhyming slang. Porky pie would be a big fat lie, so I guess that's abbreviated to Porkies.
They admit that they've been telling porkies, and now they propose to increase their power. So central bankers belatedly admit, now that you've mentioned it, yes, banks create the money supply. So let's abolish that now. And also, by the way, let's abolish cash. So what should we do? Well, introduce digital cyber currency that central banks issue and control, and thereby gain total control over all economic transactions, decisions, and the whole lot you've just heard from the CEO of the GDI. So the greatest concentration of central banking power in history is really the bid they're aiming at. That's the central bank's goal. And, of course, digital accounts of dissenters and regime critics could be switched off. It'd be very difficult to even purchase necessities. So this is an Orwellian dystopia of total control, the end of any freedoms. That's really what central banks are aiming at. Several central banks have, like the Bank of England, already prepared their microchip implant, RFID chip, to be implanted under your skin. And why is there sudden discussion about universal basic income from all the grassroots and inverted commas movements and billionaires? Universal basic income is the bribe for you to accept the microchip.
It's the microchip is now on your card. It can be under your skin. That's taking it one step further. It doesn't matter. The chip is there, and everyone's okay. In the UK, they're now talking about how they're going when they, of course, separate from the European Union. They'll have a digital pound. And, cash, yeah. We still want people to have cash, and this is out in the open. We're going to do away with ATM, so you don't really need to get cash. But what we'll do is we'll make sure that you can always get cash back at the supermarket. I mean, it doesn't get much nuttier than that. That people just say, "Oh, that's great! How convenient!" Back. Yes. Ooh.
To me, by the way, I should mention this is one of my pet peeves.
Cash back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It just slows the process. We have enough problems with people for one thing, people don't realize you can stick your card in there at the beginning of the transaction once they've rung up one item, and you can move along and you can code your stuff in there, and the card they'll probably tell you to take it out, and you can be ready to go as soon as your last item is rung up. But no, people, they wait and they wait and they wait, and they say, okay, the total is this, okay, and then they dig around, usually an old woman in Berkeley, digs around her purse and she finds her card, she sticks it in there, she lifts her glasses up and she lifts her glasses down, she puts them up, she puts them down, she puts them up, she puts them down, she pokes in a few numbers and says, oh no, that's not right. And it takes forever, and she's standing there with the glasses going up and down. And the next thing you know, and then, cash back. Yes, now you got to ring up the registers. He gives her a 20.
Oh wait, she's not done, because I need a pack of Salems. And then so someone has to go over, unlock the case. So we got to get the person who has the key to the case. And I want 3 scratch-offs. I want the Lotto 5. Am I right?
Well, no, in Texas, yes, but not in Berkeley.
Okay. So
you're right, though. That is that would extend it to make it worse.
So digital cash is coming. It was already in the first CARES Act. They had the digital dollar in there, showed their hand, took it back. It's not in the HEROES Act. I'm sorry. It's not in HEROES 2.0, but all of that is up for negotiation, as we know. But let's just continue on the dystopian tip before I get to the real pet peeve. Amazon. We joked about the Amazon social distancing, etc., that they had in their warehouses with circles, where you look up at the screen and there's a green circle around you when you're walking, and then if your circle crosses the other circle, they go red, and then you get warning, danger, citizen. Yeah. Well, a TV station in Detroit went to the local Amazon warehouse, got an official tour of all of the fantastic measures they put in place, and the reason for this. And this is where I'm coming down to the dystopian part. You'll recall that Amazon warehouse workers were outraged. We have no protection. We've got nothing to help us. We're going to die. Jeff Bezos is a douche. He doesn't care about his people. And I think what happened is Jeff Bezos went, oh, okay, they want to know what it's going to be like. Okay, dickheads, here it comes. And man, it is bad. Listen to this report.
With stay-at-home orders and social distancing, so many people have relied on Amazon to get them through the past couple of months as they process all of our pandemic orders. Earlier this year, some employees, you may recall, threatened to walk off the job over safety concerns.
This is a pretty cool technology.
Inside Amazon, you notice the changes the minute you walk in the door. Temperature and health checks immediately. Everywhere you look, someone's either...
When you hear this report, I want you to think the movie Gattaca, with people walking single file, one squirt of hand sanitizer, stop, okay, get my head scanned for the temperature, okay, move on, stay socially distanced. The guy who's talking from Amazon has a headset microphone with a little boom, like a countryman type boom in front of his mouth. He's got a speaker on his chest. And that's the sound. That's where the sound's coming out, so that he doesn't have to yell too loud at the slaves. He can just talk through his little microphone. So that's why he sounds like...
This technology is really cool here that we got.
This is great, by the way.
And health checks immediately. Everywhere you look, someone's either cleaning or signage reminds you, or technology shows you that you need to keep a safe distance. You can take a look at this technology. This lets them know whether they're actually getting too close.
When we get reduced distance, we get an alert. So my phone will get an alert that there's reduced distance in the building. Every manager in the building has that technology.
From the main distribution floor.
So every single shift in the facility, 24 hours a day, team of associates, all they do is walk the facility and make sure people are staying distanced.
Big changes to address COVID-19 concerns. Some employees here were not happy with how the facility responded to the pandemic. They were vocal. They wanted change. One step inside the building, the changes are clear. Employees now in place with one task: to monitor social distancing. 50 team members here on the lookout. Overall,
notice how people are also all called associates. That's the new word for slave. Associates.
Company investing more than $4 billion on COVID-19 related initiatives.
The focus for us is just keeping our associates safe.
From inside these buildings to the employees, the trucks, and the packages that make their way to your doorstep. A massive effort to keep up with demand and to keep everyone safe.
There is freedom. Subjugation is liberation. Contradiction is truth. Those are the facts of this world. And you will all surrender to them. You pigs in human clothing.
That's what it is, man. Pigs in human clothing.
You were right, because I would do the same thing. Bezos had actually left the operation to run on the way it used to run. It was pretty much normalized. It was like the normal feeling you had when you went to the meetup. And they were grousing about it because they've been susceptible to the
propaganda and the propaganda. Yep.
And so Bezos, geez, I've given these guys the opportunity to do whatever they want, kind of a Swedish approach. And now they're bitching about, okay, let's go to the extreme, which is what you always like to do. Let's go to the extreme, take it to the max, and it'll have the additional benefit of not allowing anybody to get near anybody else. And they would never be able to unionize under these circumstances.
Of course not. Of course not. But what's happening is people are just staying quiet and shutting up. Brings me to the final point. I am incredibly disappointed in our lab technicians, anyone who deals with the PCR test. You are really, and I love you all, but you're pieces of shit, because we went through a curve flattening, and that was to protect the hospitals. And then we come out with the PCR testing, which everyone who actually knows what it is, and we've learned about it in the past few months, I started talking about it in March or April, that these things can be rigged depending on how many cycles you spin to get tests positive, which are probably just false positives. You have something going on. The media has turned that into cases. We now have an infection rate based upon a positive PCR test. And no one is saying anything. This was not the deal. This was not the agreement. And the lab technicians are completely 100% complicit. Listen to this from North Carolina.
From the I-Team Coronavirus Help Desk, a viewer asked, why is North Carolina using a threshold of 37 when it comes to COVID testing? Isn't there a better chance for false negatives at that level? North Carolina's Department of Health and Human Services says the state public health lab uses a testing method.
No. Listen to the report. this is why I'm really mad. False negatives.
Isn't there a better chance for false negatives at that level? North Carolina's Department of Health and Human Services says the state public health lab uses a testing method for nasal swabs where 37 signifies the cutoff for a positive case. A spokesperson tells us no matter which method you use, no test is foolproof. And she adds that the manufacturer's data suggests that a crossing threshold of 37 maximizes the detection of true positives while minimizing the detection of false positives. A threshold of 25 will reduce false positives, but it will also miss many COVID-19 infections.
This clip will go down in history because
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. We've done enough reporting on this, not reporting, but deconstruction on this from insiders, that this is what she said. She actually doesn't make any sense whatsoever in any way.
What is being said here by the professionals and by the lab technicians and the creator of this particular PCR test, which I believe is the Thermo guys, who actually, we have paperwork saying 45 cycles. What they are now saying is, we're not getting enough positive tests because below 37, really, below, according to every technician I've spoken to.
Too accurate.
Yes, below anything over 35 should be disregarded. 37, they're saying, oh, we're getting too many false positives, i.e., we're not getting enough positives because you need to crank it up, which gives you complete false data. It picks up all kinds of stuff, and it certainly doesn't mean you're infected and sick.
Well,
this is a smoking gun. It's happening everywhere. The lab technicians know it, and they're too afraid to say anything, and we are going into and we're forgetting it. We're forgetting that this was not what it's supposed to be about. Andrew Cuomo in New York, this piece of work, listen to how he has taken us from flatten the curve, save our healthcare system, which we never needed in New York because we had ships, we had the Javits Center. None of it was ever needed. But oh my goodness, you Hasidic Jews. Oh my goodness, we got positivity. We're going to lock you down to your block, bitches.
We do more testing than any state in the United States. We do more testing in one day, Jim, than most states do all week. So when you do that much testing, you can target exactly where the new cases come from, the quote-unquote clusters.
Clusters.
And we can target them by
clusters. Now it's clusters. Like it's a bunch of infected people just gooped together with pus.
Clusters. Exactly where the new cases come from, the quote-unquote clusters. And we can target them by block. And what we're now doing is where we see a cluster, and our infection rate in the cluster is about 5%, which is still lower than most states. We just target those clusters.
No, it's not political. This is not political. This is control. Listen to what he says.
And our infection rate in the cluster is about 5%, which is still lower than most states. We just target those clusters. And we have a couple of unique clusters, frankly, which are more religious organizations. And that's what we're targeting. But that's the way it should happen.
Do you blame those groups for flouting the rules?
Blame. Blame will be done by a higher authority at one time. They're not following the rules. We know what happens when you don't follow the rules. The infection rate goes up.
You know what happens when you don't follow the rules.
Proves our point.
That is a ISO. You should have clipped it.
Yeah, hold on.
Following the rules. We know what happens when you don't follow the rules. The infection rate goes up, and it just proves our point from the get-go. We know how to control the virus, but you have to control the virus. You have to be disciplined, and when you don't follow the rules, it goes up, and that's what's happening in these very small clusters. Now, these are religious groups. It tends to get more complicated, frankly, because of some cultural aspects. But the issue is with that ultra-Orthodox community.
Before I let him finish, ultra-Orthodox community? Isn't Orthodox pretty clear what that means? But no, it's ultra-Orthodox. And
yeah, it's like ultra-right-wing.
The First Amendment is about free speech and freedom of religion. If you think it's just the Jews today,
It's just the ultra-Orthodox Jews. Your mouth is about to be muzzled for good.
This is not a matter of religious freedom, right? I don't care if you're Roman Catholic, you're Jewish.
I don't give a shit about religious freedom.
You're an atheist.
Yeah.
You have to follow the rules of the state, the laws of the state.
Remember these words. You must follow the laws of the state, the rules of the state. This is, and the troll room is, it's funny. They'll joking around. You're the first ones to go, trolls, because you're chicken shit and you're afraid. You're afraid to say stuff. I speak from incredible privilege, but I am really not.
What's your incredible privilege? I haven't noticed it.
That I can't get canceled.
Well, that's
what I'm talking about.
It's a privilege.
So, a reminder, cases is not what we were dealing with in March and April and May. And they switched it. We called it. We've tracked it. Everyone's forgotten about it. And, let's not forget the database glitches and the overcounting.
Spike in COVID-19 cases in Missouri didn't really happen, according to the state health department. The state blames a database error for a report of more than 5,000 new cases, more than twice as much as the previous single-day record.
Knowing how many people test positive for COVID-19 day to day allows state and local leaders to track the trends. Are more restrictions needed to stem a sharp rise? Or can restrictions be eased because cases are dropping off? But something went wrong Saturday.
On Saturday morning, electronically, a number was produced of 5,000, which we do not think represents a true one-day case reporting.
After starting the pandemic, keeping track of numbers on paper, the state now uses 3 electronic databases. On average, the numbers electronically sent to the state databases add up to about 1,300 to 1,400 new cases a day. 5,000 in one day, that was a red flag.
We think it most likely represents data over a period of time that got aggregated on one day, going back perhaps weeks.
Somehow, several days of data got summarized as a one-day total, it appears. It remains to be seen what the impact will be from a lack of data for several days, but Williams is promising new, accurate numbers on Wednesday.
We're trying to backtrack and figure out, from an information technology standpoint, why that number got generated, which we don't think reflects reality.
Bullshit. How hard can it be?
No, these people are lying. And the final one in my rant set is from Eli Lilly. President Trump claims, and I will say claims, I'll do an Amy, claims that he was cured, or that he got some kind of fantastic cure from the monoclonal antibodies. And there's 2 companies that make these, Regeneron, so he calls it the Regeneron, and Eli Lilly. And he also continuously said Eli Lilly is coming up with this too. Here is the headline on the page for the following video that I have the audio for. It is U.S. pauses Eli Lilly trial of antibody drug Trump touted as COVID-19 cure over safety concerns. So, reminder, he got the Regeneron drug, which just yesterday was approved as an official Ebola treatment. I don't know how that works, but fine with me. Fine with me. It works for
There's
Ebola.
There's a lot of similarities between these lab-developed pathogens, so I can see it being connected.
Listen to the report. It's dry, but listen to the report. And you tell me if you really understand it until you sat through all of the dryness when they disclaim at the very end what they're really saying.
Inspectors with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration uncovered serious quality control problems at an Eli Lilly pharmaceutical plant that is ramping up to manufacture a COVID-19 drug touted by President Donald Trump as a cure for the disease. That's according to government documents and 3 sources familiar with the matter. Government documents seen by Reuters show that inspectors who visited an Eli Lilly plant in New Jersey last November found that data on the plant's various manufacturing processes had been deleted and not appropriately audited. Following that inspection, the FDA classified the problems as the most serious level of violation, resulting in an official action indicated notice. A former associate chief counsel at the FDA said that notice means, quote, the violations are serious enough and have a significant enough impact on the public health that something needs to be fixed. Eli Lilly said it was working aggressively to address all concerns raised during the inspection. The drug maker also said the data deletions cited by the FDA were not related to production of the COVID-19 drug. Separately, Eli Lilly said earlier on Tuesday that the government-sponsored clinical trial of its COVID-19 antibody treatment has been put on hold over a potential safety concern. The company did not release information on what that problem was. Eli Lilly's drug is similar to the Regeneron Pharmaceuticals treatment President Donald Trump received after he contracted COVID-19.
So this drug had nothing to do, it was not the drug the president took. The reason for the plant having to stop production was not related to anything. Some inspectors saw some data deleted, but had nothing to do with this drug. Governments are not global yet. Pharmaceutical corporations are global. This is whether it works or not, I don't know, but they're holding this up for reasons. They're holding it up for reasons.
Just for an idea. This is, you like to always refer to the Airbus Boeing battles of the years
those
past.
Are kind of over. I'm now thinking auto aviation will win, but yeah.
Well, but there's still companies making the jets. Is it possible that you have, because this is millions, billions of dollars involved here.
Mm-hmm.
You got some guy who works for the other company. He's working here. He's a tech. And he goes in and deletes a couple of data files, just goes into the mainframe, just deletes. That's all this is about, if you listen to the carefully to the report.
Mm-hmm.
Just delete this folder. Just delete it. You're up there, you see it, boom, gone. And then you just merrily walk away. I'm sure they're not keeping an eye on you like they do at the Amazon place.
Not yet.
And not yet, but they're not. And now you've put these guys in arrears. This is like a big win for you. You get a big bonus from the other company if you're just an espionage type person. I think this is going on. Why wouldn't it be?
Could be. Definitely could be. If it weren't for the fact that the big announcement about Regeneron is the Ebola side of it, not the...
Well, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
It's not approved for...
but you also note that this all happened once Trump mentioned Eli Lilly.
Of course. Of course that's why. Of course. And Johnson & Johnson, you remember he touted their vaccine.
Don't mention our name.
Stop. No, they had to stop. They had to stop some adverse reaction in their vaccine. Johnson & Johnson stopped. So they're stopped.
Yeah. I think Trump should go after some guys that aren't doing anything.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Everybody is like, well, Trump's going to make it all better. No, he's not. He's not. He's not going to make it all worse. No, if he wins, he's not going to make it better.
Talking about, if he wins.
He's not going to make it better. Everybody has to do their part.
Making it better.
Everybody has to do their part. You've got to stand up and say no. And, I have a personal issue with the PCR test specifically, which was developed to detect the HIV virus, which is apparently discovered by Robert Gallo at the CDC. We saw him on stage early in March. They shuffled him off. The guy who didn't get the Nobel Prize for finding the HIV virus, even though he says he did. They did
with a lot of evidence to back him up.
They did PCR tests, the same junk they're very accurate, not precise. They're accurate that you can spin it up and say, "Oh my God, you gay guy who's had 15 sexual partners this week is sniffing coke, doing poppers. You don't look so good. Oh, let me test you. Oh, you got HIV. Let me put you on this AZT. That's the rejected cancer drug. Friends of mine died because of that, because of this PCR testing. That's my conclusion." From everything all put together. And the same is going to happen here. And where we joked and laughed about FEMA regions and internment camps and, they've got the body bags, the body cases. This too is going to come to pass. In Canada, it's already there. Isolation camps. Randy Hillier, who also asked about the PCR test, if you recall, in Parliament in Ottawa, stood up and said, hey, there's this RFP out here for isolation camps for for Canadians here in Ottawa. I'd like to know what this is about. Why do you have this?
In my supplemental question yesterday, I asked this government if the people of Ontario should prepare for internment camps. In September, the federal government posted a call for expressions of interest for contractors to supply, provide, and manage quarantine isolation camps throughout every province and every territory in Canada. These quarantine isolation camps, however, are not limited to people with COVID, but provide a wide latitude for many people to be detained. Surely this government is aware of the intentions to build these isolation camps from coast to coast. And my question to the Premier is, how many of these camps will be built, and how many people does this government expect to detain?
Government House Leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is very true that when people leave the country and when they come back in, that the province is suggesting, and the federal government, in cooperation with the federal government, we are suggesting that people isolate themselves. That has been a practice that has been very successful, not only here in the province of Ontario, but across Canada. And we will, of course, be redoubling our efforts to make sure that the people of the province of Ontario remain safe, Mr. Speaker. So if the member is referring to the fact that that one of the public health policies is that when you return from a jurisdiction outside of the province of Ontario or from another country, that you isolate yourself for 2 weeks, I would suggest that has been a good policy that has been working. In fact, this House has been doing the same thing since we came back. We are working in cohorts to make sure that the Legislative Assembly can continue to operate. That's why we have two separate cohorts, Mr. Speaker. Response to cooperation of the official opposition. That is why all members of the Independents have been excluded from that cohort, because we want them to be able to participate in debate. So we'll continue to do everything in our power to make sure that this House continues, that the people of the province of Ontario and Canada are kept safe.
Throughout the world, and this is Red Book, I'll put it in my own Red Book, the 2-week isolation is not going away. It's not going away in the United States. It's not going to go away in Europe. And I know lots of people like, oh, yeah, man, I got into Europe. I just had to stay isolated for 2 weeks. That's the future. It's not going.
What kind of a 2-week vacation is this?
It's not going to go away. And when this Randy Hillier started asking a little bit further, he got a shut up slave.
Supplementary question. Again, Premier, here's the RFP. And in the RFP, it uses clear language to express that these camps can be used for a broad spectrum of people, not limited to travelers. Indeed, it doesn't even mention international travelers. It's just a broad latitude of people. And I'll send over the copy of the RFP after. So your government must be in negotiations and aware of these plans to potentially detain and isolate citizens and residents of our country, in our province. So, Speaker, to the Premier, where will these camps be built? How many people will be detained? And for what reasons can people be kept in these isolation camps? And I'd like to have the Premier assure the people of
Boom. Take a seat. Mic cut off. Shut up.
The next question.
It's not just about the
next
international
question. They just cut the guy's mic.
Cut the mic off. Said a member sit down, and he just went on to the next question. I finally really understand Alex Jones.
My God, for 25 years, they've been growing babies and cows.
I know why he freaks out from time to time. Now, here's for me is the bottom line. In my heart, I want Trump to be president for the next 4 years. Realistically, it's better if he loses, because then we'll just have to wait 4 years, and then they're going to do it. I would rather everyone's in this state of mind. We're all jacked. We're wired. We understand that this is not right, what's happening. I'd rather they bring the hammer down so we can see it and fight against it. Because if we have 4 years of la-di-da, it's gonna be that much worse in 4 years. So,
well, that's an interesting. Yeah, that's kind of a defeatist.
I feel very defeatist. Absolutely, I do, because I saw it. I saw people who are too afraid to do anything, and then it doesn't matter. Trump's not going to save you.
Well, I want to stay on this theme because I have a coincident clip that seems to fit into this.
There are no coincidences, John. We know that.
And this is the thing I kind of I think I may have teased this or I mentioned it in I don't know what I did. But this is another new Scott Adams theory. And this falls right into place with which makes me think Trump's going to win big if you hear this whole thing out, with the silence thing where people are afraid to speak up. And this also goes back to, I remember when I was still at PC Magazine and I met with a new publisher whose brother was a climatologist, and he says nobody in the business except for a few extremists and people on huge grants believe in that climate change is that big of a deal. And we've already reported that the Russians have some charting that is a lot more accurate than the stuff we do, and nobody wants to even talk about that. And he says that I said, well, why did he say something? He says, he can't. He says, you can't say anything. You get shouted down. And this whole thing is because the left has become these they're the bullies. I mean, they're the ones who call everyone else a bully, but they're the bullies. It's the old, you are what I say. I am what I say you are.
Wat je zegt ben je zelf met je kop door de helft.
Yes, and I love that phrase. And listen to Scott's theory on gaslighting Trump supporters.
So I'll start using maybe gaslighting in the popular way, even though it's incorrect. And Democrats have gaslighted themselves, which I've never seen before. They've gaslighted themselves. And the way they've done that is they've frightened Trump supporters into silence. So they've been so bad to Trump supporters that Trump supporters go into hiding, including, I think, when pollsters call. The Democrats have scared Trump supporters into hiding, but then, here's the funny part. They've scared Trump supporters into hiding, but they still believe the polls. You see where I'm going with this? I don't think that could be funnier. It would be one thing to scare Trump supporters into hiding and then not believe the polls because you caused the poll, your own actions caused the polls not to be reliable because you think, maybe they're just not admitting they support Trump. So the irony is that their own actions will cause them, if Trump wins again, and I think he will, if Trump wins again, the level of surprise and shock that they're about to experience might even surpass 2016.
Now,
and we all think that's really funny, but it's not because they're also my neighbors. It's not that funny anymore to me.
I do have to discuss this. This is, I get people who say, I don't know, never been called by a poll. You ever been called? Yes, I have been called by polls. I consistently get called by polls. I have an old landline. I have all the earmarks of someone who gets called.
It was ringing at the beginning of today's show. I heard the phone ring.
Well, that was probably somebody from Mexico or, India. Trying to sell. I've been getting the Social Security call an awful lot, by the way.
My!
I got to get it on tape. Anyway, I got a Social Security card, and I went to the guy, and he starts going into pornography.
What? That you had been watching porn and he knew it?
No, I haven't been watching porn because it's boring. But he went into pornography. He just started getting. I wish, and I'm thinking to myself, I've got to rig up these recorders.
Oh man,
I'm losing so much material on a daily basis. Back to my story. So I get called by pollsters a lot. And the last time I got called, I have to kind of agree with Scott because they were asking questions about, do you think Trump was right about this? And I was very reluctant to say, well, maybe they're, because you get a little paranoid. You go, how do I know this is Gallup? How do I know that he's not taking my name? What am I going to tell him I like this Trump idea, or should I even say anything honest? And so I was reluctant to say anything that was legit. So he may have caught, and I never thought about it until he did this little spiel. He may be right that people on all the polls are very reluctant to say anything pro-Trump because they're afraid they're going to get a brick through the window.
Yes.
It's like Nazi Germany. These are the Nazis.
And this is why I confidently say Trump is going to win. He will win the popular vote. He's going to sweep everything. But he's not king. He does not run New York. Who's running New York? Not Nancy Pelosi, not Chuck Schumer. No, Andrew Cuomo is running New York. Who's running Texas? It's Greg Abbott. He's not the best guy in the world. You know, there's people are just. It's not going to fix it. It's just not going to fix it. So I'm not. I'm sad. I'm not defeatist. I'm just really sad. I'm sad.
You were defeated.
I saw all. No, I'm taking it back. I saw all these people who run the country. You know, it's not the elites. It's these people. It's the fire captain. It's the nurses. It's the EMT. It's the military. It's the technicians at the Vegas shows who, you know, the shows are all bankrupt. These people are running it. They make stuff. It's the dude's named Ben and dudette's named Bernadette. They run it. But you can put Trump in place, but look what happened. He was president for 4 years. We got to do something ourselves. That's all. I'll get off my high horse and stop about it because that's just I need a one show break from these thoughts after the election. All right. Now for the latest propaganda. Since the NBA can't get any eyeballs on their games, they've decided to up the ante and get Steph Curry back once again, and they got a great interview with him and Bill Gates, which I don't even think they spoke to each other. I mean, this was completely hacked together.
So, remember the old radio days where they used to send a transcription out?
Yep.
It just had a bunch of answers, and you were supposed to phony up the questions. Yeah. Which became kind of that became a Cartoon Network or whatever that show is at night where the
Adult Swim
with that ghost show, that guy who asked all kinds of offbeat questions to the wrong answers.
Oh yeah. Well, yes. So it almost looked like one of those. It was called an electronic press kit.
Yes.
And we used to get them on vinyl. They were huge discs, which you could really only
those
play.
Are the old 16-inch transcription discs. You need a special Fairchild thing with a big giant platter.
And you couldn't play it more than twice or three times, it would wear out.
If you played it once, it was wearing out.
So this is what it looked like, you know. And Steph Curry is all stylized, and he's shot from different angles. You can even hear the pacing. That's always how you know it's how this was done. The pacing is all off. There's no actual interaction. It's, you know, covered up with a music track. And Bill Gates, I guess someone got the message out to him. Bill, you know, first of all, you're saying the same thing. You're sitting in the same place. We can't even identify it's a new or an old interview. Let your hair go gray, man, and let it get a little shaggy, like you're locked down, you know, COVID style. So he looks like crap he's really gray. And it's just, I noticed these things. He has not done his hair coloring, and it's all shaggy. So there's some messaging there. And, well, whatever you do, let's remember, this is not about flattening the curve of the hospitals. It's not about people dying. No!
When we talk about where you say COVID-19 has impacted not just us here domestically in the United States, but globally.
If we just look at the COVID death number, in no way...
They're not even in the same room, obviously.
No, they're not in the same room. We knew that.
This is weird. I mean, just that you didn't play more than 15 seconds of this thing.
Yeah.
And immediately it sounds like just an edited up bullshit. And why Steph Curry? When did he become this Barbara Walters of the NBA? When did that happen?
I think he interviewed him a time previously. It's not the first time Steph Curry
previous interview.
As an aside, I'll take it on me. I've gotten comments that the show uses the term "oh brother" too much. I started using it, so I
agree. I say "oh brother" way too much.
Right.
Which
is why I appreciate it when I get that kind of criticism. Like, yeah, damn, I don't want that.
I'll stop saying. I'm not going to stop saying it.
No, you don't have to. It's your thing. I took it on.
After the election, I will never say it again.
I took it on from you and started using it like contagious Tourette's. And so I'm stopping that. So I'm stopping. It should be okay. But I just want you.
Yeah, you can stop because you have the ability to actually stop on a dime.
But you've already said it 3 or 4 times in this show. So I just want to let you know.
I get 5 a show.
Okay.
When we talk about where you say COVID-19 has impacted not just us here domestically in the United States, but globally.
If we just look at the COVID death number, in no way for even the rich countries does it capture the negative effects, the tragedy of what's going on.
So whatever you do, please, whatever you do, don't look at the COVID death number, which is near 0 percentage-wise. Don't look at no. Don't look at that. Don't look over there. No. You've got to look over the horrible things. Now wait for it.
The negative effects, the tragedy of what's going on. Things like mental health or the educational deficits or other diseases that messing up the health system is making more prevalent. It's much more difficult to dimensionalize that, particularly in the poorest countries. Things like hunger, poverty, getting the life-saving medicines. This has been a gigantic setback.
This is one of the guys who advocated for lockdown, shutdown, and now he's dancing on people's grave.
He actually did, now that you mention it, say we should just be completely locked down till beyond Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, no. Don't look at the death number. No, now look at all the horrible things that it's caused, which is depression and other sicknesses, people dying from other things. It's
rants by Curry.
And this is why Steph Curry? Come on, man. Come on, man. Steph Curry, because our ADOS...
No, I was referring to you in that gag.
Yeah, I got you. Our ADOS brothers and sisters aren't having any of it. They're not on board. They're a problem. Get Steph Curry in here. Get them to tell us what to do. Oh, and by the way, Steph, let's make sure that everyone understands that those conspiratorial thinking ADOS, American descendants of slavery, which is very, very, blacks have a reason to think about this. Tuskegee experiments. They've had so many things happen to them. Eugenics. They are conspiratorial. They're prone to it, of course, because they have experience. So,
I wonder, you've talked to Mo. What does he think about Steph Curry as a spokesperson or a representative of the black community at large? I don't see it.
Mo doesn't even watch basketball anymore. He's so sickened by it. But okay, let's get Steph Curry, because get the black guy. The black guys will listen to him, you racists.
In this generation, right, we're talking the social media era and how information is spread, false information, how it's kind of fragmented to create a stir in certain communities versus others, and it's very targeted in that respect. How much do you worry about how that is disseminated?
Even the question is edited. He can't even get a question out straight.
Others, and it's very targeted in that respect. How much do you worry about how that is disseminated throughout our community? Because information is obviously power, especially...
Hold on, just a moment. He's talking about our community. What zip code do you live in, Steph Curry? If I look around your neighborhood, is that really your community? Is that who you speak for? Are you allowed to speak on their behalf now?
Disseminated throughout our community because information is obviously power, especially in the response to this pandemic. Things change so fast.
Well, the digital revolution, the internet, social media, all of that is
poorly edited.
Easier for us to see what's going on. Medical researchers are publishing articles every day, and all over the world, people can immediately see what the new thinking is there. Thank God for the internet. Work at home, our ability to connect up with each other is driven by that. But it also has meant that a lot of conspiracy theories...
Hold on, stop. What is this laugh in his voice? What is he chuckling about?
Well, if you listen, I know it's boring, but you got to listen to what he's saying.
It's totally boring, but all of a sudden he does this. He's talking about something he seems deadly serious about, and now he's laughing?
He is an evil dick. Yes, He thinks it's great. I'm telling you this, he gets off on this. It is probably sexually pleasuring to him. Really, I really suspect this.
Our ability to connect up with each other is driven by that. But it also has meant that a lot of conspiracy theories that are false, sadly, they spread a lot faster than the truth. So the idea that did somebody intentionally cause this thing, completely false, that can be dangerous because it means, if you go for these simple but wrong theories, getting people to work together and protect each other so we can get out of this as soon as possible, that's really at risk. How should the government deal with that? It's very difficult.
There's 3 edits there. You heard that, right? There's 3 edits in his answer.
Wrong theories, getting people to work together.
I can put what he said back in. I can tell you what it is and just plop it in yourself. It's this. And there's 3 of them. It's what it is.
That's part of it for sure.
Can be dangerous because it means, if you go for these simple but wrong theories, getting people to work together and protect each other so we can get out of this as soon as possible, that's really at risk.
2.
How should the government deal with that? It's very difficult.
3.
Ideally, citizens are just well informed and they know which publications are very careful about what they say, and we don't have to engage in censorship. Looking at the companies like Facebook and saying, okay, what is their role in that? When somebody says masks don't work, which is wrong, what is their responsibility for catching those things, particularly when they get up to large numbers? I think we'll come out of this with those companies feeling a stronger sense of responsibility and actually understanding, having a public debate about how they need to help here.
So
6 I counted, and you probably could get another one.
No, it's at least 6 or 7 in that one piece alone. Final clip. So now we know what it is. Doesn't matter what Bill says, as long as Steph Curry is there and saying, hey, I'm friends with the smartest guy in the world, man. He says conspiracy theories are bad. That's the messaging here. It's very simple. And, here's the pitch. That was all wind up.
When it comes to that information, I know especially just the awareness of how this pandemic has affected black and brown communities across our country in a disproportionate amount. I think the CDC said, 2.6 times more likely for a black person and 2.8 times for the Latinx community to contract this disease.
To contract this disease. Yes, it's not even factually correct.
From your vantage point, knowing issues that have been prevalent long before this pandemic, but that have only been accelerated, how can we curb this? Put the right resource in the right place, put those communities in much more at ease in terms of the light at the end of the tunnel.
What is he really saying here? How can we curb this? How can we put these communities in with a light? What did he say? Light at the end of the tunnel?
That's what he said.
I mean, it's like a Black Lives Matter question at the same time. It's really phenomenal, which I don't understand because it's his community. Is there no sunshine in his community?
There's a lot of things we still need to do. Communities of color still have far less access to testing diagnostics than the average American.
Yeah, he said communities of color. That's now a new one. That's a new one.
Colors.
Let me see.
There's a lot of things we still need to do. Communities of color still have...
it might be colors. Might be that he said. I can't quite hear it.
There's a lot of things we still need to do. Communities of...
Yeah, there's a lot of things we still need to do. All right, what do we need to do?
We still need to do. Communities of color still have far less access to testing, diagnostic.
I just don't believe that's true. He's just saying that. They don't go get tested because they don't want it. They don't believe in it.
Than the average American. And so the fact that the testing resources, who gets the quick results, it's not in these inner city communities where a lot of the burden is. That's an injustice that should be fixed. Likewise, as we do the vaccine trial, we've got to make sure that people who volunteered are very diverse.
Yeah, they didn't show up. They were offering $1,000 bucks. Yes, of course.
So that we have enough representations from the groups who are being hit hardest, and we understand, is it safe? Is it effective in those groups? Not just the average statistics there. We wouldn't have predicted that the burden would fall so heavily on people of color, and we're still confused about that.
We know everything. We've got it all right, but we're kind of confused. If Bill Gates, Mr. Prick Vaccine, is saying we're still confused, we're not quite sure what it's doing to you, community of black and brown people, community of color, why would the community of color want you to test something on me if you're not quite sure what it does? Explain that to me.
Statistics there. We wouldn't have predicted that the burden would fall so heavily on people of color, and we're still confused about that. We need to get to the bottom of this because that has to be part of our understanding.
So take this shot so we can get to the bottom of it. The messaging is interesting.
This disease and how we, reduce this incredible burden. But it is very sad that at the same time we see racial injustice through policing, and we're, talking about that. We have this raging pandemic that is messing up these communities and setting them back. And so hopefully the awareness we get out of these tragic facts drives us to solve specifically the COVID-related problems and looking at the broader gaps.
I'm going to stop because I saw John cut out for some reason. So let me see if I can reconnect with him. Yo, it's Bill Gates fucking with us.
Here we go. Oh, he's going away. What is happening? What is happening? I'm ready. Got everything set. You back?
Yeah.
What happened?
That time, I have no idea.
Oh, because I saw you come back, and then it wouldn't connect, and then I refreshed.
Oh, well, when I came back, you were, showing as dead. And so then I rebooted the whole browser, and then it took me... Okay.
All right, you only missed the last couple of seconds of the clip. Here it comes.
Raging pandemic that is messing up these communities. And
there he is again, laughing.
And so hopefully the awareness...
Did you hear him laugh during when he said messing up communities?
Hold on, John, I'm playing it back, so I can't play back and record at the same time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I like your comment, but I just do the clip
I didn't know this was going. Okay, go.
Yeah, we just have to go to the end of the clip.
We have this raging pandemic that is messing up these communities and setting them back. And so hopefully the awareness we get out of these tragic facts drives us to solve specifically the COVID-related problems and looking at the broader gaps.
The broader gaps. Oh, yeah. So there it is. Someone sent me a quote by Edward Bernays. And we know Bernays, of course, as the father of modern propaganda. Hello? And his head is gone. Gosh darn it. What is happening with everything today? You're connected, but I have no sound from you. And he's gone away. Man overboard. Hey, yep.
And looking at the...
Well, maybe I have to refresh my browser again. I don't know what to do. Let me try. Nope. No, he's not there. That's right, Darren. No. Okay.
I had to change networks.
Oh, it was a network thing? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Did you hear the end of the clip?
No, I heard last time. Play it again.
Yeah, I'll just play the last.
This raging pandemic that is messing up these communities and setting them back. And so hopefully the awareness we get out of these tragic facts drives us to solve specifically the COVID-related problems and looking at the broader gaps.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. Why is it not recording now? Of course, typical, right?
Well.
Okay, hold on. All right, it's back. Someone sent me a note.
Well, before you say that, I want to mention that he was actually, you can hear that laugh in his voice when he said, communities
of colors. Communities of colors.
Yes, it was hurting them, and he thought that was funny?
Well, I don't know. The guy is sick.
Well, there's something...
Someone sent me a quote from Edward Bernays, the father of propaganda, modern marketing, PR. And it was...
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, actually, it was probably a clip which I didn't get. He was on I think it was The Tonight Show. It was Johnny Carson. And he said, I like people to, even though I'm not, I like people to call me Dr. Bernays because they trust me more with what I say. Bill Gates literally taking a page out of the Bernays propaganda playbook. Dr. Gates.
I think I should call you Dr. Curry. You should call me Dr.
Professor Dvorak. Professor Dvorak.
Professor Dvorak.
Professor Dvorak, Dr. Curry, yes.
Yeah, works.
Works for me. No problem there. Okay. Anyway, final observation from Vegas. The whole place, all of Vegas, in the hotels, in the elevators, everywhere you go, smells like weed.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. But not people smoking
I believe
it.
This to be true.
Not smoking it, just the smell of beautiful, moist, green, lovely, holy herb and flower everywhere.
I think it's the biggest dispensary in America they have in Vegas.
Well, the people are going to Vegas. I got to find some reason to go to Vegas. I don't think this makes them want to gamble.
No, that's a good point. It's open 24 hours a day.
I remember the time I was talking to Kenny Wynn once, and he was the tech of the Wynn stuff. You stayed at a Wynn resort.
Yeah.
Encore.
Mm-hmm.
And he's telling me these guys come up to me, these techies, because he's a techie. We got this idea. You can put, we can have gaming in the rooms. It wouldn't cost much more than $5 a month. You put the machines in there, and people could play Keno, and they could bet on this and that.
Mm.
And he said, of course, the family has been in the business. Said, no, we don't want that. We don't want people in the room at all.
Correct. And there's signs everywhere. Even though marijuana is legal in the state of Nevada. No smoking in the room. Because that's exactly what you do. You score some weed at the dispensary. You go up to the room. You smoke. If you're lucky, you remember, oh, yeah, there's fun downstairs. If not, you all pass out watching, Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
It's very bad for business. It's the worst. But the whole place outside, just walking outside, smells like weed.
Yeah. Now, I didn't know this, obviously. Why would I?
No, you couldn't know that.
But saying it, it's just nothing but believable.
Yeah. Oh, one final thing. Having been on MTV, which is now 35 years ago, in fact, it's probably a little longer.
You were on MTV so long ago that people can barely remember. It's so long ago, and you were still 10 or 15 years short of Joe Biden being in Congress.
Wow. That's a T-shirt.
And you have to ask, did Joe Biden ever work a day in his life outside of government?
So there are people who listen to this show who weren't even born when I was on MTV. Some of them listening to the show who were born after MTV stopped playing music videos. But but still there's always someone somewhere who remembers, Headbangers Ball, whatever. And it's these kind of really interesting moments where people go, oh my God, you're the MTV guy! And it's simultaneously nice and embarrassing. But I actually had this in reverse during the meetup. I had a fangirl moment with the keeper, actually.
You were the fangirl?
Yes. So the keeper, her job is, which is the job she takes upon herself, is to make sure I'm moving. And this was a sit-down event. And at a certain point, the manager came up, said, hey, if you guys are not wearing masks, that's cool. But, it's against code. You have to, you can only do it if you're sitting down. And everyone went like, yeah. And no one did it, which was cool. And then he'd send the waitress out. And then, and she'd be like, At a certain point, they just went, whatever, it's fine. Enjoy yourselves. So her job, and so you sit at tables, and when I'm sitting with, the guy with his leg blown off by friendly fire in California, I might add, and I'm interested. And then, then there's the guy who's making all the Trump paraphernalia, the golden Trump dollars. Him and his brother have been selling that stuff online. There's the nursing couple. There's all these great people. And she said, no, you got to meet this one guy. And he's an actor. He's pretty interesting. And she just, that's all she said. And so I'm talking to this guy, and he says, yeah, I was in LA for 20 years. And now I think he's I think like probably like a life coach, but with an official title. So kind of like what would some of the terms be for that? I actually might have it here.
Sir life coach.
No. No, there's like some degree you can get for this. Geez, I wish I found that. Oh, yes.
It's okay.
Here, Certified Core Energetics Practitioner, which is a graduate of the Radical Aliveness Institute of Southern California. So it sounds like something like that, which I would probably be into. And
sounds directed, yeah.
Yeah, and says no, but I quit. He's from I think he's from Saskatoon.
Woo!
Yeah, I think that's where
Paris of Canada.
I think that's where he was from. I'm probably going to get this wrong. And he said, "No, but I quit Hollywood. I was so done with it. I quit, last year." And so I'm like, "Oh, okay." Well, and I'm thinking, like, I don't recognize this guy. He doesn't look a good-looking guy, but his name is David Sutcliffe. I said, "Well, how did it go?" He said, "Nah, I did a couple things. You ever watch the Gilmore Girls?" And by coincidence, one of our lockdown series has been the Gilmore Girls. And he says, "Yeah, I played Rory's dad." And we've literally been watching this show for the past 2 weeks. And I went, "Oh my God, it's Rory's dad." Wow. And I turned to Tina. I was like, "It's Rory's dad." And she went, "Oh, I need a selfie." And I went, "Wow, what just happened to me?"
Yeah.
Fangirl. He was very gracious about it.
I'll bet. He better be.
But he found the show because he was just so sick and tired of everything. He was just searching around. And he said, "Oh no, let me try this." And he got hooked. And he came. I think he's in San Francisco now. I'm not quite sure. And he came down, just or wherever he was, over for the meetup.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I believe we got a lot of people traveling in for that meetup. I thought that was great. I should mention something just so you know. I have never seen one episode of the Gilmore Girls.
Now, I
don't even know what it's about.
Well, I had not only never seen it, I actually had entirely no desire to watch it. And I believe the reason for that is the leader song and the visuals it makes me feel like it's just like an old people, like almost like Golden Girls type show. Everything about the title and the image is all wrong. I don't even know that much. No, it's all wrong. But I kind of got into it. It's a fun little show. Yeah. Anyway. And I think that's about all. So Patrick Coble was great organizing with the Shill and Dame Angela. And they did a great job, sourcing. This was an off-the-strip restaurant, bar. This was not anything. And this could not have taken place anywhere. We would have been shut down.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
The people were
like you were given a back room, closed off, and you had a fire captain there. I mean, if he was okay with it seems like the whole thing is kosher.
Yeah, it was like a beer garden type idea, and we were given the whole
beer
thing.
Garden.
Yeah. And they were given the whole thing. But that was great sourcing by Dame Angela. Of course, we couldn't even announce this thing because it would have been shut down. This is the level that Vegas is at. Vegas is locked tight.
How does this jive with those pictures we saw from the Cosmopolitan I posted in the newsletter about 2 or 3 months ago when they supposedly opened Vegas and the whole casino was packed?
The slot machines.
Am I being bullshitted by somebody?
So the slot machines are open. Everywhere you are is like being in a phone booth. You want to play some blackjack? Oh, here you go. Sit in the phone booth. Because you got these 2 screens on either side. If you have a screen in the front, God forbid you breathe on the dealer. You walk into a phone booth and that's the table. Plexiglass between. You're shoving the cards underneath like a bank teller window.
That's
Come on.
terrible.
No one wants. So maybe a few months ago they didn't have all that stuff up, but oh yeah. Everyone's wearing shields.
Because of the increased number of positive results in the. Do you remember when this whole thing began and they were trying to flatten the curve and they brought the big ship out to New York and they never put anybody in there and they had jabs. Everybody was all jacked up about flattening the curve and they were getting nowhere. I mean, a lot of this was being exposed as bull crap, and there were people with the camcorders going into camcorders with their phone videos going into the hospitals that were on the news that previous night as packed and out of control and there's nobody there. That was going on. And so then they couldn't get, and they weren't getting much traction. And all the left-wing media, and Democracy Now! Is a good example of very left-wing media. That's when they started hounding Trump about testing. Testing. We're not doing enough testing. We're not doing it. Testing.
And he fell for it. And he fell for it.
Oh, he totally fell for it. And in fact, he was bragging about, we've tested more than anybody. Yeah. And then coincidentally, we've tested more than anybody. We've also had the more cases than anybody and all the rest of it, which came along with the testing and the phony baloney results. I mean, this whole thing is so coordinated by, I think there are just some smart people behind this. I don't know I mean, maybe what you said at the beginning of the show is the whole point, which is globalization, but this is pretty...
It's smart people behind it. It's smart people behind it, and people who are terrified who are running it. The lab technicians who write these assays...
It's the same with global warming is the same thing as I mentioned with the...
Yes. Oh, and everyone uniformly said, millions and millions of dollars I saw. They've seen it all. They've seen the billings. They know it all. Everything you've seen, everything you've heard, unless they all coordinated with the YouTube people I've watched and they just happen to show up in Vegas, seems pretty uniform. But the people who are running it are it's us. It's us, and we're letting it happen, and we're not speaking up. When I see a thermodynamics, I think whatever their name is, when I see their lab assay 45 cycles, and I have lab technicians all agreeing with me and sending an email, well, the test is good. Yeah, you're explaining your guilt away, or you don't know, or you're suppressing it, because this should be out in the open. We need to, and we're playing clips from a guy in Ottawa. That's the only politician we can get to talk about it. And so, there's your globalization. And the UK, Northern Ireland, shutting down again. We're going to lock down. England has a 3-tier lockdown system, and we're at the tipping point. Oh, yeah.
In the next newsletter, which is in a couple of days, I have an unbelievably funny graph. It's the Swedish graph, and which is down to there's nothing going on there anymore. And it's juxtaposed.
John, there's nothing going on anywhere anymore. Let's just be honest about
straight.
It.
Yeah, nothing going. But they've documented. They've done a better job of documenting it, because what they've done is that they documented the fact that the Swedes' approach didn't result in that second bump of deaths.
No.
They got the big bump, a little bigger than everybody else's, but not that much bigger. And then it just dribbles down to nothing. And there's no second bump like we have. And like everybody had, because they got carried away. Now they're really carried away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's juxtaposed with, because it's all done on a search this guy did. And you got to see this. It's a very funny visual. And it will be in the newsletter.
Oh, good.
It's juxtaposed with a New York Times article saying, Swedish method is a disaster.
Yeah, we're going to die. Let's just remember for a second, 60 people were in each other's face, hanging all over each other. Citizen X, she is a super spreader gadfly. She was literally jumping on everybody. It's very entertaining. And we're not going to die. If someone gets sick, I'd really like to hear about it. We know who went. We have a tally. We all flew on airplanes all over the place. There's nothing going on. But yet, in November, Logan International Airport in Boston is going to start COVID testing. That's right. You're not going to get on the plane without a test. And that's going to be really annoying.
You're kidding me. They're going to shove that spike down your nose. What if they're, here's a good idea. If you're going to be all involved in this, let's just become super conspiratorial about this. Let's take those swabs and infect the swabs.
Well, there's another point to it, which the lab technicians and the science would tell us. Just because you swab someone's nostrils and in the front doesn't mean that you are infected. That's in your nostrils. And okay, it's there for a reason. That's where it's supposed to catch, is in your nostrils. So you could have a high, a count there that would trip on a 45 cycle PCR test. Doesn't mean that it's coursing throughout your veins.
No, I'm just saying we should be infecting people. That would get the numbers back up.
It doesn't matter. You can test in 10 years from now, and people will still test. We'll have thousands testing positive because it's just a rigged test. It's very accurate, not precise, but very accurate, depending on what you set it at. It's that simple.
Yeah, okay. I guess my point is lost.
No, why make it so difficult? You don't need to have the useful idiots infecting the swabs. You've got it on the back end, baby. Just dial it up.
You get the hospitalization rates up if you actually shoved it.
You don't need the hospitalization rates up. They just take the cases.
Obviously you don't, because we're all panicked and there's nothing going on, like you said.
Yes.
But you could do it if you wanted to.
Yeah, of course you could do it. Obviously.
Okay.
All right. Now, do you want to take a break? Because I've been yapping. We've been yapping
so.
a long
Let's
time.
take a break. I'm ready to take a break.
Well, and with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to the man who put the C in so many things to see, John C. Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Dr.
Yes,
Adam
Professor
Curry. In the morning
John
to all
C.
ships
Dvorak,
at sea,
yes.
boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, dames and nights out there.
Yes, I'm sorry about that, Professor Dvorak. I should have known better. In the morning to you, and in the morning to our troll room who are hopped up today, very hopped up at noagendastream.com. Really doing that, triggering me well.
They're jacked up.
Yeah, now they're hopped up and they're jacked in. And they're good at triggering today. Very good. NoAgendaStream.com is where you can go join them if you want to. Just go to that page and you can log right in. There's a web chat. And you can listen to the stream, which is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we have live shows that you can interact with, like this one. But also people that just hang out and talk stuff and listen, once in a while a comment about what they're listening to. It's a very interesting experience. And hit up the people there for an invite to NoAgendaSocial.com. NoAgendaSocial.com is our federated social network. No algos, but it works in such a beautiful way that you get a lot of the signal to noise ratio is just perfect. And if you lose your password, don't lose your password. I've become like an admin now. People like, I can't get back in. I'm not getting this. It's no good. I should have called John. He's in charge of that. That was my favorite email.
Well, that's pretty offbeat.
Like, I know I shouldn't be bothering you, but John's not helpful in getting my password back. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, and that will continue, I might add.
Yes, you will get that level of help, and rightly so. And in the morning to Mike Riley, who brought us the artwork for episode 1285. The Davos Douche was the title of that. And it was just good. I mean, we saw it coming along from a mile away. The WCIA with the Channel 33 news was too good to pass up, although we did have a lot of interesting art. And I hope you took notes because we talked about a number of pieces.
Well, this piece was not it kind of came up in an awkward way because we had pieces that were kind of working, and there's a couple of pieces I liked a lot, and you liked some. But this one, why I found this piece to be interesting, because this is not O'Reilly's typical work. And I said it on the No Agenda Social. This is O'Reilly channeling Darren O'Neill.
Yeah.
This piece has Darren O'Neill written all over it, but it's not Darren O'Neill. It's like the Beach Boys, used to, Brian Wilson used to write the songs for all kinds of bands.
Yeah.
And this is like, did Darren actually do this piece and let O'Reilly take credit for it? O'Reilly. I said O'Reilly. It's not O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
It's Riley.
Bill O'Reilly. Sure.
Mike O'Reilly.
Uh-huh.
But it's just so indifferent. But the Riley touch is the little winking man inside the CBS eye.
Right.
And
now Cesium-137 came up with something
almost identical.
Almost identical, but didn't take the 33.
He had a 3.
He had just a 3, and I don't know.
No winking eye. He didn't bring it up to he didn't put enough effort into it. And then, I mean, you could almost say that Riley's piece was derived. It was derived from Cesium's piece, and
in the timeline it could have been
Darren O'Neill style. This is totally alien to Mike O'Reilly, who's a cartoonist.
Well, he did do the little smiley face in the CBS eye, and that was his touch.
We spent a lot of time talking about this art.
Yes, because you like the Austin skyline with rockets and a UFO.
I like that one. I like this being sucked into a flying saucer. That was that one too.
That was pretty good. But we decided that's one of those you could see when you have a time sensitive one like the CIA, WCIA, because that's where Dana Perino worked. WCIA. It was time sensitive. Getting sucked up into the UFO by Nick the Rat.
That could happen anytime. It's an evergreen.
It could happen today.
Yeah. So, all
right.
Well, there were a lot of nice pieces. The artists are great, and
we spend more time. In fact, I'll never get the record for turning around the show and posting it. after we're done recording because there's too much art. There's too much to discuss.
Once in a blue moon, there's some piece that just stands out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, boom. Then exactly.
Yeah. But that's not often. And sometimes we even have to go to the evergreens or go back in time to something like done 3 or 4 years ago because nothing really hits the spot.
So if you ever wonder, well, why is it taking so long to get the show done? 9 times out of 10, it's because we can't agree on the art.
Yeah. That's one of the elements. The other one slow down that keeps the show from coming out. The show gets out in about 40 minutes, and generally, it's been the fastest has been 29. But the other thing that slows us down is we don't have a title. If both of us aren't working on identifying titles during the production of the show, then we have nothing, and we have to try to dream up a title out of the blue, and that slows things down a lot.
I hear what you're saying, but I find it a lot more fun to just blame the artists.
Yeah, because they got nothing to do with the titles.
Just blame it on them.
Although I will say this, that the artist should be aware of this. If you use one of our titles in the art because of this theory of ours, you might get bumped.
Yeah, it happens.
And then, but if the art is so good, then the title will get bumped, which really slows down production.
That has happened. Where it's just so good.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one that I like to like. I said this. I've always liked this piece.
By the way, you can play it. You can play along at home by going to noagendaartgenerator.com. You can see these. You can play along at home. See the same thing we are.
Yeah, you can see what you can predict. What do you think we're going to do? What we're going to pick?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Are you going to say something about another piece of art? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Yes, that piece. I keep liking that piece of Trump as the Hulk.
Yeah, and I pushed back because to me it was like, because I'm just looking at does it attract people? Does it make people want to click? And there's been so many Trump Hercules, Trump He-Man.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I didn't demand it.
No, I'm just telling. No need to.
I'm just saying I like the piece,
and I'm just saying why I didn't.
And I'm trying to. Well, I don't even know why I like the piece. I just something about it. I don't know.
Thank you very much, Mike Riley. Is that his second now? Is that his second in a row? I have a feeling it.
Yeah, he's going for the three-piece.
He's up for a hat
This
trick.
is the hardest thing in the world to do.
Yeah. This is especially here.
There's only been, I think, 3 people that's ever accomplished it.
Nick the Rat, Darren O'Neill.
I don't know if Nick the Rat ever did. I know Martin JJ for sure.
Yeah.
I think Martin JJ accomplished it more than once, and Darren O'Neill's accomplished it more than once.
Well, we get incredible value from this, and it's not just for the joy of seeing it and the privilege of being able to pick from such a wide variety. This does not exist in any form of mainstream commercial media everywhere. It doesn't really exist anywhere, as far as I know.
No, this is exclusive to the No Agenda
this is
show.
Very, very,
I
very
can see
unique.
somebody trying to get it going, but this is a decade's worth of work to get this model to work like as well as it works.
Apparently,
and it's been working since about show 300.
Apparently, Nick the Rat had 7 in a row. Back in the day,
Nick the Rat was on a roll at some point.
I think so too.
That.
Yeah, and Sir Paul, who runs the No Agenda Art Generator, needs a lot.
In the early days, yeah, he was just getting all of them. Yeah.
Well, but no, Sir Paul, who runs the art generator.
Yeah, I know.
Was he submitting too back in the day? Sir Paul T?
He created the art generators to make his submissions easier.
Right. It was Sir Randy Asher and Sir Paul T.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a previous art. It wasn't an art generator, but it was an art repository.
Yeah, and that got blown up.
I don't know whatever happened to it or the art.
No, it was a drop.io. Do you remember? That was my first and my last experience with locking into a company. It was a startup, and they had drop.io, and it was drag and drop, and you had kind of like a collaborative. We were doing collaborative show notes, and the artists were dropping in their art, and it was fantastic. And then one day Facebook bought them or Google bought them. I can't remember.
Whatever, yeah, done.
And it was gone. All our drops, as they were known, were gone, done, shut down, sorry, and it never came back. And I swore, that's it. I'll never rely on another company's servers ever again.
No, you can't do it.
Ever again.
Especially these, it's free.
Yeah, it was Facebook who bought them, apparently. Yeah, free. The era of free is coming to an end, my friends. And
the era of free has never been good.
Has never been profitable.
It's never been profitable, but it's screwed so many people.
Yeah.
I was using a free service years and years. This one, I never wrote a big column after they shut it down. It was for my address book and everything. It was Dynamite Service.
What was it called?
And I can't remember the name. I could dig up the column and bitch and where I bitched about. They shut down, and I was relying on this. You really have to be careful about what to rely on.
Yeah. But that was one of those. That's when the model really started. That's how long ago it was. Start something cool that people use, and then get bought by Facebag, and then integrate it or shut it down if it was too competitive. And that's what I'd say. 90% of companies that get funded today by angel or A-round venture capital is to make sure that you get bought by Google, Facebook, or one of the other big guys. That's it.
Yeah, that's the model.
Not to have a great business model, not to create something. No, just say advertising. Create your widget. Say, advertising, and then when we have scale, advertising will work out. When you have a cool widget, you'll get bought. So Facebag doesn't have to innovate. Yeah. That's anyway, it's a rant for a whole.
That's been going on for 20 years.
Different day. No Agenda, artgenerator.com. As I said, part of our value for value system. Really, it's an entire network that we've built up out of this. And the way it works is whatever you get out of it, you should put back in, and whatever you put in, you will definitely get back out. Sometimes multiple. And we do the same with we can't take any ads. You've heard this show. We would be fired within 3 minutes of the beginning of this one, and it would just get shut down. It would be gone. Spotify would say, "Oh, great. We'll pay you for it, but we're not going to put it up." I'm just saying that's what I think it would be like. So we asked people to become producers.
If we had a good contract, it would be like that.
Yeah. We asked people to produce the show, and they're doing it with art, with clips, with knowledge, with information, and finances. And we'd like to thank our executive producers and associate executive producers as the biggest supporters for this episode. Now, do you want to do the Vegas donations?
Well, usually when we have a meetup with over a few thousand, we got $2,200 from Vegas.
Which was nice.
And some notes. And I usually do it as a second, like a third donation segment,
Well, do you want to do it now?
This is kind of small.
Yeah, it is small.
This was not a major money maker. Well, so, yeah, we can do it now. This is the top of the list.
Thanks for the financial analysis. I was there to meet people.
Well, I'm just saying.
Was it not a money maker? You would.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, you had like 50 people in Austin, and it was like a ridiculous amount of money.
We had 120 in Austin. It was not 50. You don't believe it? I think it was over.
I don't believe that was the number.
It was over 100 people in Austin. Definitely. We counted. Just count the picture.
Well, I remember the whole situation, but it was. If that's true, then it probably wasn't that bad. Why don't we do the Vegas meetup right at the top? $2,232.21 from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You have the notes.
Yeah. But now the way the back office has done it, because everyone had a card, I have to go to the PDF. So Christine and James Frost, $1,000, and let me go to the number 5. Here we go. Dear John and Adam, Eric was pretty cool. He scanned all the notes. So that is very handy. I'm not
driving around the country with a scanner.
He has a flatbed scanner in the RV. You got to appreciate the guy for this. I thought that was pretty good. Now this is a written note. It may have been. I think it's probably a card. Dear John and Adam, as much as I would have liked to be at the Las Vegas meetup, I regret that I will be away. In my absence, I've sent my proxy, Sir James, to hand deliver my donation. I was hit in the mouth by Sir James about 2 years ago and have been enjoying the best podcast in the universe since. It has kept me entertained, informed, and healthy, and my amygdala appreciates it. Since my donation amount grants me damehood, I'd now like to go by the title of Dame Christine, Cultivator, Crafter, and Critter Custodian of Clark County, Nevada. I'd like to request, well, of course, the obligatory de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
And a double goat scream and a healthy dose of karma. And for the round table, I'd like to request Arnold Palmer and a flamethrower, which I did not write down. So I'll make sure I do that, and we'll give you this double dose.
You've got karma.
Okay, let me see. I'm just going to remember.
The list for knighting?
Yeah. I just need to put down Arnold Palmer and a flamethrower. Is that a drink, a flamethrower? Is that something?
Yeah.
It must be.
Yeah, so is the Arnold Palmer's, used to be known as the Shirley Temple.
Yeah, Arnold Palmer, I know. But and we have ROAG, R-H-O-A-G. Is it ROAG? ROAG, is that how we pronounce it?
Rogue.
Is it Rogue?
R-H-O-A-G? Rogue?
It could be Rogue, yeah. 333.33, and I need to go to page 2 of my notes. This is very exciting. Hello, Adam and John. Happy Columbus Day. Smiley face wink. Rogue, like the elephant. Is there an elephant named Rogue? Or is it Rogue?
It's a rogue elephant.
The rogue elephant.
The one that takes off from the circus and starts killing everybody.
Oh, cool. Then a very cool couple, Victor and Katya from Russia. And they donated $300. And let's see, they have each have a note. I chatted with them for a while. They were like, I guess Victor was brought to the U.S. when he was a kid, and he lived here for 7 or 8 years, and he went back with his parents. And they both, I think they're both software developers in the gaming industry. And they both kind of saw what was going on with Moscow, and they said, St. Petersburg, where they live, and they said, you know what? We'd rather be locked down in America than in Russia. So they moved, and they're in Los Angeles, and they came down for the show. Dear John and Adam, been listening to the show for years, even forced my wife to listen when we used to drive together in the morning. A family who listens together stays together. Now she's a big fan of the show and loyal listener, so please de-douche her.
You've been de-douched.
This is her first donation. Thank you for your courage, and stay negative. Victor and Katya from Russia with love. And, they had jingle requests here. Orange, oh boy. Why don't you read the next one so I'll just set these up. I didn't have these ready for them.
Okay, well, on our big list, we have Tony Cabrera, came in at $1,379.51. And he is, which gives him all kinds of positive things. ITM, your latest No Agenda shop profits are here. This is our No Agenda shop. This is the T-shirt guy.
That's where
Tony the T-shirt
That's
guy.
where the art goes. That's where the art goes.
This is our deposit.
Yeah.
This time our deposit is larger than usual because Darren O'Neill generously donated his $369 share of the Deep State University sales. He did the Deep State University sweatshirt, which is dynamite, by the way. That's the one I think people should get. You can get that and not be yelled at.
Yeah, it's very
seriously,
nice.
people see that, they wonder, they would say, okay, what is that? Where's this? Is there a Deep State University? I don't know. Maybe there is.
Yeah, but yet...
I don't want to offend the guy. The guy will shoot me.
Yeah, but yet you know that subliminally that's getting in. You know it's getting into their brain. It's seeping in.
So he says, so take it easy on the guy. He means well. Now, there was I forgot how this happened, but somehow Darren and I got in a kerfluffle, but it wasn't really serious on the Mastodon.
Uh-oh.
But it wasn't, I don't even know where it went. It says, I always struggle to end these, take me out with a 1. We're going to die. Okay. It says, I always struggle to end these, take me out with, 1, we're all going to die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got this.
Her head was gone, and look at that juice. That's a very funny combination.
All right, now first, let me do Victor, and this was not a good way to do it. There's too many. I have to switch between too many things. First for Victor and Katya from Russia.
Orange! Oh my gosh! Can you see that juice? I think that sounds pretty good. That's true. You've got karma.
All right, now let me quickly do the jingles here for Tony Cabrera, which is I have these produced. We're all gonna die. This is fun to do this. Her head is gone, and is that followed by that's true?
No, look at the juice.
Oh, look at the juice, even better.
We're all gonna die!
And her head is gone. Oh my gosh! Can you see that juice?
And I'll just give you a comment.
That is the most disgusting combo I've heard for months.
Let me go
Tony,
back.
good work.
Let me go back to the Vegas spreadsheet for a second.
Tony, good work.
Well done, sir. $200 from Dick Lull, which is a Dutch joke. Dick Lull. No jingles, no karma. Mike Williams. 100
joke.
Yeah. No, it's a penis joke.
Okay, don't explain the joke.
Mike Williams, $100, and he had a nice card. Adam and John, thanks for all your hard work. It makes all the difference. Love you tons. In the morning, Mike Williams, Rancho Santa Margarita, California. And we'll finish out the list here with Sir Did, the French Knight. I had a great time talking with him. He came down from San Francisco. I can't tell you what he does, but he actually came down to tell me some stuff about a Silicon Valley company. And he is the only French guy who donates. So, he deserves a lot of props. Sir Did, the French Knight. And he gave us 4 eights, $88.88. Jason and Chrissy Doolin, thank you for your courage, $60, and we appreciate it very much. Brian McAfee, $50. And then we had 2 unknown $50 with no note and didn't get an email either, but we all thank you very much for your courage. Thank you for being a part of the Vegas experience. It really was, for all the issues that I had after it, it was a wonderful couple of hours. It was just absolutely fantastic. I will hold that in my heart for a long time because I don't think we're going to see it back. Yay! Let's go on with our executive producers.
Little girl, yay. All right, onward with Mike. Oh, let me take this and get this set up right. Sitting here in the wrong spot. Mike of Maquoketa. Mike of Maquoketa. 556 bucks. He says, my note, if you'd be so kind, John and Adam, thank you for your courage. I was hit in the mouth by the womb raider, Adam of Rock Island, this past August. This podcast is just what my swollen amygdala needed. I have been hit. I have hit in return Aaron the Pergola Slayer and my brother Matt of Maquoketa. Rather than call out my brother as a douchebag, I am sending value for value in his honor, as he is the best brother in the universe. Oh. Please de-douche him.
You've been de-douched.
Also, today is my 41st birthday, and I'm celebrating like Clark W. by driving my smoking hot wife, Heather, and our 6 male human resources across the country in a rented RV.
Hey, you guys should hook up with the Schill family.
Wow.
That family, we love the Schills. They are pretty fun.
They're funny.
Especially
yes,
Henry. Henry, what a doll.
Henry's
great. He's fantastic. I told him that you're his favorite. just so you know, I said, hey, you're grandpa's favorite, I happen to know. He had a smile on his face. Just so you know, I big up.
See how tall is the oldest?
Oh my God! Not only is I think he's taller than I am. He's sitting there doing a Rubik's Cube with one hand.
Yeah, he's a coder too. He is his growth.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it for like almost a year.
Oh my God!
And I looked at the picture. I said, "What the hell?"
It's like looking at.
So he's up. Go ahead. He's up at like 6'6".
Yeah. It's like looking at me.
This reminds me of.
With a
have you seen the recent pictures of Barron?
Same. Barron's also 7 feet tall. It's the same
at
thing.
Least 6'7".
Something happened with these kids. It's the same age, right? Aren't they the same age? Or is Barron a little
Pretty
older?
much. And there's something else about Barron. If you look at Barron, because they have pictures of him now, because he supposedly had COVID, he got over it like in one day, and they're still making a fuss about it, as we'll hear later in the show.
Right.
But if you look at Barron today, not the little pudgy kid that you used to see like 3 years ago, but you look at him today and just look at his picture, that is the spitting image of a young Donald Trump.
Yep, I know what it is. I know what's happening with these kids. I know why they're sprouting this tall. Regeneron.
It's in their cereal.
Something is in their cereal.
Okay, here we go. Quick shout out to C. Mike from Kansas City for his work with Miss B. As it has changed my life, life is grand. Thank you both and keep up the great work. I'd like all hell is going to break loose. And don't eat me, Bo Jiden.
Okay.
Mike, and he says pew pew for some unknown reason.
Oh, he wants pew pew as well?
He just says pew pew at the bottom with his note.
Okay.
So just all hell's gonna break loose, which I believe is a Reverend Manning clip.
It sure is.
I think. And then Don't Eat Me, Bo Jiden, which I think is at the ready.
And a karma? Or
He never says karma.
They're saying that all hell is going to break loose and you're going to need a Bitcoin.
Don't eat me, Bo Jiden. You're scary. So scary.
Steve Weiss in Las Vegas lost wages in Nevada at 333, and he wasn't on your list as far as I can tell.
No.
We met Adam at the Las.
Yeah, he was there.
We met Adam at the Las Vegas event. This is about 1 week's worth of our unemployment government cheese. It's an old reference to Ronald Reagan, as far as I can tell. Out of work Cirque folks.
Yes.
So they work for Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, he's a sound guy, audio engineer, and all you have to do as an audio engineer is say to me, "Man, I really appreciate your sound." And you got a friend for life. He did say that.
Oh yeah, sure he did.
And
sound guys love our show.
I believe that Stephanie, she was the technical director, maybe technical lighting director for Cirque du Soleil. And Cirque du Soleil is bankrupt. All the performers have gone back to Hungary and Moldova, wherever they go. That's never coming back. It was also the general consensus is it was kind of done. Vegas was done with Cirque du Soleil. They'd done all the different. What more could you do?
They were peak circus act.
But these two, as I said, high quality people, man. They're the people that make the show run.
Yeah, this is bad. Anyway, we thank Adam and Tina for the great visit and encouragement from John and Adam each week to keep us level-headed. Goat karma for all is needed. Long live the Republic. Ronnie James Dio lives on.
Yes, he does. Forever. Dio.
You've got karma.
I've learned a new trick, which I just wanted to tell you. When we're doing the spreadsheet, that little bar, if you click on the donation cell, this is spreadsheet 101. So you click on the cell and the one you're going to read. You know how it doesn't always format inside the cell and, it flips around?
Yeah.
That bar up at the top, the preview, you can drag that down and make it as big as you want. So the whole note fits right in that box at the top.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
I've never known this. It's really handy.
There's a lot of handy stuff with spreadsheets. You're still going to end up reading the long notes. Can't get out of it.
That's okay.
Shauna Benson, $313.33 is the last true executive producer. I was going to wait until the 25th, she writes, to donate, but saw the call to arms email. I believe we share a birthday on the 26th.
The show will be 13 on the 26th.
Yep. She won't be 13, though. She'll be older. This donation brings me halfway to damehood, and combined with my prior donations, halfway to my birthday code. Brought to you from the crazy amount of work I've gotten since listening to this show and getting all that jobs karma. One more of those for everyone out there not so fortunate. Love the show.
One of our, just as a programming note, one of our producers caught a Pence jobs, and just as an option, I'm going to do a regular jobs karma for Shauna. But I did just want to give the options. Here's the Pence jobs.
Jobs.
Here's Pence with Pelosi.
Jobs.
And jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
Right? And here's
I like that last one.
Here's the trifecta.
Jobs.
And jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
Come on,
wow.
Man. That's a good one. How can... You have so much power harnessed in one.
That's a beauty.
Do you want to roll it out? Should we roll it out for Shauna?
Oh, well.
If it doesn't work...
she's already doing fine, and we don't want to jinx her.
So she can only
she
go
wants everyone else to get judged. Why don't we do this? I'll tell you what. This will be the last regular, old-fashioned jobs karma without the other options.
I don't quite understand what you're saying.
This means this will conclude the moment in time where we don't have a million options for jobs karma.
So
I know we already have a few options for jobs, but now with these 4 new ones.
So do we want to go
out of control?
Do we want to just go to one, the long, or do we just want to keep the old one? I'm not quite.
I'm thinking we should just go with the regular Pelosi jobs karma with the yay kids.
All right. Yeah, I too don't want to mess it up. So
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You thought.
Karma.
So we agree on the following: you can get this one, the original, or the trifecta. We can't be doing all the other ones.
Oh, why not?
Okay.
You just have to give them a name.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone knows.
You got the Pence extended, and you got the Whopper. Those would be the three.
The Pence. Okay. I got a Pence extended, and then you got the Whopper. Okay.
Yeah. Those are the three. I believe it was 3, not 4, right?
All right. I'm going to have to code them that way as well. Okay. Notes for later.
Yeah, well, since I'm not doing it, I can make things complicated. I don't care.
Of course.
Let's go
to our
associate
executive producer, yes.
Starting with Egghead in Dayton, Ohio, 21098. From the long shadows of Trash Mountain in Dayton, Ohio, I'm officially within screaming distance of knighthood. I want to say what is up. What is up to all my homies on No Agenda Social? Thanks to AC and JCD for the sanity and laughs. And no jingles, no karma.
Very nice.
For all. You got the next one.
Yeah, thanks. Grizz from Big Rock, Virginia, $205.25. Just refer to me as Grizz or Grizz Grosnot. One day to be Sir Grizz Grosnot. While I've hit what seems like an entire populations in the mouth forever, I finally get to donate. Well, guys, I truly hope this is added to Sunday's show. So does he mean this Sunday or last Sunday?
I don't know.
I've been listening for over 7 years, and I wanted to donate the time, but I barely made ends meet. After the shutdown of the local coal mining engineering office, where I worked as our local dude named Ben, as well as a coal mining permit, AutoCAD, Carlson software, ArcGIS Tech, I did whatever I was told, and many things my superior dude named Ben from the main office said wasn't our job, like cable drops. Hell, I even put a bumper and a fender on a work truck for them, which someone had crashed. It's been difficult finding steady work as I'm a dude named Grizz in the middle of the Appalachians, Appalachians, with over 20 years of experience, certification, and ASS degrees from engineering, technology to network, and even literature. Anyway, I didn't expect you guys to read all this, but know this. I appreciate what you guys have taught me over the years. My counselor says I need to take a break from podcasts. Is that what they're saying these days?
What?
What is going? They're saying
this is a scandal.
This is worse than everything we've said before. They're telling you not to listen to podcasts. Go back to the mainstream. Anderson Pooper is your friend. Stay safe. They're all okay. Rachel Maddow will take you through the pandemic. Do not listen to podcasts.
Time code.
Okay, but it's true. I feel very conflicted about that news. My counselor says I need to take a break from podcasts, usually only after I bring up facts from your show, how testing is flawed, masks don't work, and people who didn't die from COVID are counted as such. Wow. Here's what I recommend. Get a new counselor. This one's no good. To end, I told you guys long ago I'd be a knight one day.
Hold on, stop. What kind of counselor is this? Is he in school?
I don't know. No, he's a dude named Ben, so I don't know. We'll find out.
What kind of a counselor does? Or maybe does he go to a shrink, and the shrink is like telling him this stuff?
Well, it kind of sounds disparaging when you say shrink, which is why usually people say counselor. To end, I told you guys long ago I'd be knight one day, and by grannies, I will. Thank you so much for telling the truth as you guys see it anyway, and for not fear-mongering like a certain seed seller. If you play a clip for me, I'd like my old favorite, you slaves can get some mac and cheese. Dogs are people too, and a Rev Al wants to be de-douched too. Oh, my goodness.
You've been de-douched.
Cheese, cheddar, okay, and he wants dogs are people too. We'll do those two for you. And did he need a karma? Oh, his dog passed away.
He wanted a Reverend Al or something.
Yeah. Well, You just read the rest of the note while I get the Reverend Al. His dog passed away, so I want you to, because that's the dote.
He says, Reverend Al combo, I need a de-douching dogs. My dog passed away in May, which is where my donation number came from. He passed on 5/25/2020. I picked him up as a pup at work, and no one offered to take him home, so I did. Besides discovering no agenda, he was one of the best things to happen to me. And I can't read the rest of it because it scrolls off the edge. It's too long.
Okay, keep up the great work, he says. And thank you very much for your support. And thank you very much for donating and becoming a part of our Value for Value family.
You slaves can get used to mac and cheese. Cheap macaroni and cheap cheddar melted together.
Mac and cheese.
Dogs are people, too.
RESPICT. You've got karma.
Was that the dogs or people who had those extra barks? Is that the normal one?
Probably not. I don't know. I just came up in the search on my...
Well, that's far better than the other one.
Seriously?
I like all the extra barking.
No, I think that's probably been the same. Oh, wait, I think you're right. There's a difference. Okay. I'll remember that for next time.
Nicholas Miller in Tucker, Georgia is next on the list of associate executive producers. He lives in Tucker, Georgia, he says. A mile from Noodle Boy Head Shop Weenie.
Oh, no.
When I heard the clip, I knew it was time to donate. Goat karma, please. Biden whole load and 2 to the head.
Okay. We got that for you.
I'm going to give you the whole load today.
You've got karma.
John Paul Ketsy, I think is the way that would be pronounced. I'm not. Coetzee.
Ketsy, I think sounds right.
Ketsy or Coetzee. $200. He's in Australia. Dear John and Adam, firstly, thank you for keeping me sane. Keeping me sane in the last few months. I have unplugged from the M5M and really appreciate your no-nonsense approach to media deconstruction. In particular, your COVID coverage, second to none, has helped my amygdala keep it small. I was hit in the mouth around April and have been hooked ever since. I want to call out, April, it's a good time to get involved.
Yep.
I want to call out Ryan Parsons as the mouth hitter as a douchebag. Thanks again for all you do. Much love and peace and respect from the down under here in Sydney, Australia. No jingles, just a big dose of goat karma for all those who need it. Keep up the good work. Cheers, JP. P.S. Is there a tiny little bit of Trump bias creeping into your show? I don't think so. Don't get me wrong, I'm no fan of Biden, but Sleepy Joe is a bit of a soft target. How about giving Trump some stick to balance it out?
Hey, why don't you flip on the TV?
You get all you want.
Get all you want, and then come back and let us know how that was.
No, I'll tell you, here's the deal. Whoops. We play a lot of clips from Democracy Now! We play a lot of mainstream media clips, and in all those clips, they're blasting Trump.
Yeah.
So are we supposed to just blast Trump gratuitously without... I mean, it's already being blasted. In our show, Trump is being blasted. Now, I have examples.
Hold on a second. Here's the difference. You can call it bias, whatever you want. I call it sense of humor. Trump says outrageous stuff. We find that incredibly entertaining because I think it's meant as such. Sometimes there's a psychological NLP trick hiding in there, which we also call out.
We do that. We call out all NLP.
What you're not,
I will say,
you're not getting anyone criticizing Andrew Cuomo. Okay?
I will say this. We do have today, there will be some Trump clips from his last speech, his meetup, big giant speech, that shows some of his new material. Wow. And in there you get to see...
I have a good idea.
You get to see our take on it. That's what I mean. That's the whole thing, because he does material that...
Today, and for today only, I think we should respond to the new Trump material the way the M5M does. Because it's real easy to do. If you want that kind of show, we can do it. Oh, my God. He's just making fun of it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
that's what he wants. That's what they want. That's what he's asking for.
Well, that's what he wants. He's not getting it.
Oh, okay.
Shane, he should be ashamed of himself.
Here's your goat karma.
I don't want to say that. He's a good donor, associate executive. I love it.
I'm giving him the goat karma.
You've got karma.
Last in this very lengthy segment, even though we don't have that many people, Shane McLaughlin in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, $200. We talked a lot. Hey, John and Adam, this is my first donation. Please de-douche me.
You've been de-douched.
I discovered the show in early September. He's already donating. And you guys have he must be a Roganite. And you guys quickly became my number one pod. He put it in quotes for a reason.
All right, good.
Pod.
Pod.
Yes, we do a pod. We do a pod. We do it twice a week.
I loved, oh my God, the last pod. It just sent me into depression.
Thank you guys for deconstructing all the BS M5M that is all over television. I'm stuck in the hellhole that is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, where no matter how red the state could be, it always feels like it'll be run by liberal Democrats. Governor Wolf has done everything he can to keep us locked up, masked up, shut up, and shut down. I can't help to think he knows his time as governor is coming to an end, and he's doing everything he can to show his worth to the Democrats. You know, I think this is going on here and there, by the way.
Well,
thank you guys.
The question is it showing your worth to the Democrats or showing that you can be part of the prison guard system?
Thanks again, he continues. It's truly the only show I look forward to listening to, live if possible. Can I get a don't enslave me Kamala and a goat karma, please? Thanks again, guys. And hey, stay safe. Shane McLaughlin from Pittsburgh, PA, where the mayor allows peaceful protests, just not by his house.
Don't enslave me, Kamala!
You've got karma.
Well, I like the fact that somebody's taken advantage of that particular clip. That's a conclusion of our associate executive producers and executive producers for show 12, and I believe it's 1285.
Yeah, 1286. 1286. It goes so fast, the time. And 13th anniversary coming up on October 26th.
And a 1-2 punch with the 1300th show.
Oh, really? Does that coincide?
No.
Okay.
No, but it's in the neighborhood.
It's in the neighborhood. Thank you very much. These are our executive producers and our associate executive producers. Of course, we also thank the Vegas Meetup producers. Thank you again for all turning out. And for those producers who have this title, it's a real title. You can use this anywhere. Titles are recognized, accepted, and understood, which is the entertainment business, but also podcasts. People do understand these terms. You can go get a job with Gimlet. Go ahead. I'm telling you, it will work. And if anyone has a problem with it, we'll be more than happy to vouch for you.
Take one of the Neumann mics home. That's a good idea.
Put your name on it for when they go bankrupt. If you want to support us for the Sunday show, here's where you go.
Dvorak.org/NA.
And as always, thank you for your time, your talent, and your treasure here at producing our show.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth. Order.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave.
Most emailed clip, and I counted them. 37 copies of all sent by different people, all clipped, which I highly appreciate. And this is it.
I have no agenda.
I have it too.
Of course you do. You probably have a different version.
Well, this is the No Agenda ISO. Check it out.
Okay, No Agenda ISO, because she said it a number of times.
No agenda.
Ooh, that's kind of nice that way.
Notice how much clearer and perfect that clip is.
Did you produce that, or did that come in that way?
I got it in that way.
Huh. Yeah, that's good. It's much better.
I have another clip.
For ISO or just
ISO,
in general? Yeah.
Try Toledo.
Toledo? Okay.
I knew it was going to be.
Doesn't quite sound right.
It sounds terrible. Hello, Toledo. I tried to.
Oh no, it doesn't. Who was that? Was that Trump?
No, that's Biden. He goes into Toledo. Hello, Toledo.
Yeah, Biden's toast, man. The guy's he's wearing 2 masks. It's really odd.
I noticed that.
He has like a tight mask right over his muzzle, which is tied back tightly, it looks, with yellow string. It might be elastic. And then he has kind of the surgical mask over that. And I guess that's because they're really worried for him. Or maybe that's where they have the little speaker built in.
Yeah, because wow. Yeah, well, you can't understand him, that's for sure.
It's just one of those Amazon deals. It's got a little minute. Yeah, the text's pretty good because it sounds like him.
Well, here's some. One of our producers sent these in back to back, and I thought they're interesting because of a comment that he makes in the first clip. But this is I believe the first one I want to play is Biden 2 years. Yeah, Biden 2 years ago. Dad. Now I want you to pay attention to all the words, and I'm going to highlight one of the things before I play the follow up.
You know, my dad used to always say, for real. You know, you remember the things that your father said or mother said more than once. He'd say, Joey, everybody, no one is better than you, but everyone's your equal. That was really a mantra in my house.
Okay, so he makes a point of saying, you always remember when your dad tells you something or your mom tells you, remember it, and this is my... And so he gives the thing that his dad said this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So here's what he says, like, this is just recently. This is the Biden recent.
Okay.
In Scranton, my mom used to have an expression. She'd say it not just in Scranton, but from the time we left there. Say, Joey, nobody's better than you, Joey. But everybody's your equal.
Wait, first he says his dad said it, and you always remember these things. You're very on the ball because your dad said it. And now he's telling us his mom said it.
All right, I want to play the 2 outros side by side. Hold on a second. Where does he pick up Joey here? This would be kind of cool.
Say, Joey.
Okay, let me see if I can pick it up. Play at the same time.
Say, Joey, nobody's everybody. Joey.
It's different. Oh, no,
but everyone's your equal.
It's different. It's different.
That was really a mantra.
Hold on. It's not the same. Dad said something different. Listen.
Joey, everybody, no one is better than you.
Okay, let's listen to what Mom said. Well, come on, Mom, why not? You're not working. Here we go.
Joey, nobody's better than you, Joey.
Okay, so I guess he corrected himself.
But everybody's your equal.
Damn, man. That's pretty cool, though. Maybe it's the same person. Maybe his mom was
his dad is his mom. His mom is his dad. My dad's my mom. It's like Chinatown, the movie.
You always remember.
Okay, now I do have the Trump material if you want to hear.
Yeah, of course I want to hear the Trump. I saw him, he's on screens everywhere, but I was too busy. I didn't have any time to
he was
listen.
in Iowa doing his material.
Now,
I thought some of the stuff was good.
I believe the Iowa... Something was chosen about this for a reason. And I think it had to do with Biden and stuff he said in Iowa. I got this vibe. It felt like, was there something else that dropped in Iowa, something that happened? Something was going on. It's time.
I couldn't keep track of all the subtleties.
All right.
But let's listen to him go on. Here he is with, there's one that's really funny. Well, here's a good example of material. This is how Trump morphs, because he's a chatterbox. I mean, we always knew this, but you don't really understand what a chatterbox he is until he's been in office for 3 years, or he does these rallies.
And he's punch drunk at the rallies.
He's got a bunch of steroids. He's roided up.
Whatever he's got, it's working for him.
And here's a very good version of him. He usually morphs into some critique of Biden. And here's where he really changes the subject in a drastic way. This is material Trump. This is material Trump morphing from this into something.
We don't have too many of them anymore. Do you ever notice, at the beginning when we started, we'd always have the phony people that stand up.
Okay,
and
stop. No, I didn't have this set up. And you start over. He's referring to troublemakers that were in the audience that used to be hauled out, and Trump used to make comments. And now he's saying that these people have stopped showing up. And so he goes into a bit about that, and then he makes his morph. Okay, start over, sorry.
We don't have too many of them anymore. Do you ever notice, at the beginning when we started, we'd always have the phony people that stand up and, raise their voice, then go home to mom, get bawled out. I don't know. I shouldn't be talking about this because all of a sudden but we don't have that anymore. I learned about the cameras because the cameras never like show. Look at that. Look where that crowd goes to. Look where that crowd goes to. All the way back to the buildings. And I'm always telling, I never thought the cameras could move. And then I just noticed whenever we had a troublemaker in the audience, they'd spin around, they'd be in like a pretzel, right? They can do anything, these guys. I thought they were like rigid, like a rigid piece of steel. They don't turn. But if we had in the back room behind the pillar, somebody, that camera would be turning around like a snake, 15 different angles. But that sounds good.
Squirrel!
It's a brand new F-35 fighter jet. You can't see it.
No. And don't fly near lightning.
They say it's the greatest plane in the world. And by the way, speaking of that, our military, when I came in, the world's most overrated general told me, "Sir, we have no ammunition," because we may have had a conflict very early in. And I said, no president should ever hear that. And we have rebuilt our military, $2.5 trillion, all made in the USA, with equipment like that, the likes of which no country has ever seen before. We are the envy of Russia and China and any other country. We have equipment that nobody has. Our missiles, our rockets.
Let me just. I got a couple of our producers who were in Vegas work on the F-35, the turkey. Trump hyping that up. It's a piece of crap.
That's what everybody's been saying since I heard the same thing from a bunch of military guys.
Let me just give you the story so this is fresh in my mind. So one, the problem with lightning is the way it's constructed. Typically, the lightning will hit the wing or some part, and it's directed up and out, so it kind of bounces off the aircraft. For some reason, the construction of the F-35, it actually burns the wing or wherever. Usually, it would hit the wing, so they have to replace it. It takes 2 weeks. That is not a combat sufficient aircraft, and from what I understand from a lot of people, is we're selling them. The Saudis are getting them. Anybody, hey, we got a deal. Trump is out there selling the F-35, which is so great you can't see it.
I like that line.
So great you can't see it. It's a piece of crap. Sorry for everybody who worked on it. That's not.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, as long as it's making money for the Republic.
Yeah, we're selling it. That's for sure.
So that's okay. Let's go to this is a long one. The other two are short. This is Trump on Biden's health care.
I remember when they asked a question at the debate where the Democrats were up there. You had all these Democrats. They started off with 26. And in fact, I said, there's no way they picked Kamala because she treated him worse than anybody else. And her poll numbers were dropping like a rock, right? But They asked, who is going to give money, health care, to illegal aliens? And they all raised their hand. Remember Joe? He's looking around. Oh, yeah, he didn't understand the question. He did. At least he has an excuse because he has no clue what the hell they're asking. But do you remember his position? He was like this. Their hands are all up. We're going to give all our money away. Forget about all you people. But remember, Joe, so he's standing there. He's going to give health care to illegal immigrants, people that come into the country illegally, in other words, right? They come in illegally. And under a plan, they have the manifesto. They want to give them a lawyer. That's what we need is more lawyers now, okay? They want to give them a lawyer. They want to give them education. They want to give them health care. But they asked the question, and I said, wow, because I think they had like 26 people originally, but every one of them raised their hand, including Sleepy Joe. And what happened is Joe's like this, everybody other hand, and Joe, you could see he's, for 47 years, he's got the itch because he's like, he knows this isn't going to work. He's saying to himself, because, there's still something left, not much, but he's saying to himself, there's a natural instinct, right? A political instinct. And his shoulder went up, and then his hand. So I don't know. I don't think I'm even going to hold it to him. I'm not going to hold him. I get enough. How about the no fracking?
I mean, that was flat. That was no good. What the hell was he saying? That didn't work for me.
It worked for the audience.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear him.
It was also very visual. He does a lot of sight gags.
And by the way, it's, you can sound like, aren't you biased towards Trump? We're probably the only place you can actually hear a minute of Trump uninterrupted that isn't just a soundbite of him, with someone saying, look, they have no masks. Fox doesn't show it anymore.
No, Fox has lost it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got two more. So let's go. Let's do this one. Let's do the, I don't know what this is supposed to say. Material LWOA, Second Amendment.
If Democrats win, they will Supreme Court with radical left judges who would shred our Second Amendment. And believe me, if they win, your Second Amendment is gone, okay? They'll empower violent mobs and shield deadly criminals and terrorists. Very simple. Joe Biden refuses to even answer questions unpacking the Supreme Court. How about this? They go up to him, do you want to pack the court? I'm not going to answer that question. You know why? Because they don't ask it. If he doesn't, me, it would be like, forget it. But they say, you were going to pack the court, sir? I'm not going to answer that because I don't want to say. Oh, okay, good. Next question. Can you believe it? This is the essence of our country. We can't allow this to happen. And the other thing is, they don't ask the second.
What he's saying about the Second Amendment is just as bad as Democrats hounding Amy Coney Barrett, like, Roe v. Wade was on the ballot. Roe v. Wade you'll be gone. Your health care, Obamacare.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Both sides of this. Shut up, everybody. It's lame.
They're not going to let one side roll over the other. So
I know, but let's just call it what it is. Your Second Amendment.
We know what
it takes a little more to get rid of an amendment by writing a new one, and just someone winning the presidency. But
So let's go to the last clip, which is this is the perfect health. This is the best of the group.
I'm sorry.
Material Trump,
yeah,
Iowa.
I got it.
We're going to do it free. We're going to do it free. It's not their fault. We're going to do it free. So we're in that process of getting an emergency. It's called emergency use authorization. And we're going to Regeneron and the Eli Lilly comparable drug. We're going to give it to everybody, and I hope they have the kind of luck that I have. But maybe I would have been perfect anyway. I like to say I didn't need it. I would have been perfect anyway because I'm so strong. I said that. I said sarcastically, well, I'm in no danger because I'm in perfect physical shape and I'm very young. And CNN goes and reports President Trump lied to the American public. They said, can you believe this? This is...
Yeah, I can believe it. Meanwhile, Joe Biden says actual funny stuff. And you probably caught this. There was, I presume, a credible enough survey that I saw CNN reporting it. Apparently 56% of Americans feel that this is the question. So it's one of these loaded questions that, everyone would ask. I'm running for president. I'm running for re-election. Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? So apparently this was a Pew study, I think. 56% of Americans say they are better off today than they were 4 years ago. And this statistic was posed to Joe Biden.
Gallup reported last week.
Oh, my God, you can't even hear it. I have his answer, but this was like a stereo clip. Shoot. Can you hear this?
People who feel that they are better off today under the Trump administration vote for you.
Can you even understand that?
I can barely, but I have to concentrate.
Okay, well,
I think you can play it. How long is it?
Well, Biden is clear. This guy was way in the background off mic.
Oh, okay, don't worry about it. Let Biden
probably
go.
Shouldn't. They think...
No, screw it. I'm sorry. It's no good. I don't know what happened. It sounds like...
give us a rundown.
He said that those people... It was a gaffe. I'm sorry. It was funny. I can't do it. It was... It doesn't work. It was a dumb Biden gaffe. It doesn't work if I do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Well, the only dumb Biden gaffe I have is the one where he again says he's running for Senate. He saved it.
Oh.
This is the running for Senate clip. Just play it. Then I'll explain.
Okay, Biden running for Senate.
Oh, we have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate.
Wait, is this... he did this again?
Yes, this is like from a couple, I think this is Toledo.
What? He did this a couple months ago. He already did this.
Yes, he did. He's done this. Well, this is because that's what he used to say, and he's kind of... So he saved this one. I don't have the full clip. I had it and lost it, but I'll give you the gist of it. He says, I'm a proud Democrat running for Senate. And then you see a look on his face. He says, and that's the way I felt when I was running for vice president.
Oh.
And that's the way I felt today running for president. So he kind of saved it, but you could see that it was a gaffe.
Because we have a couple of these. It was South Carolina. And what was this one here? This has been happening a lot.
Well, I'm looking forward to appointing the first African-American woman to the United States.
No, that was different. Here, Biden at the South, at the First in the South dinner. That clip is from February.
South Carolina is going to determine who the next president of the United States is going to be. You really are. You're the ones that sent Bill Clinton to the presidency, and you're the ones that sent Barack Obama to the presidency. And I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. Give me a look, though, okay? That's all I've really got to say to you. I got 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was February. He was already doing this.
Yeah, and he didn't save that one.
No, he did not. I had a shorty.
I'm game.
Go on television. These white supremacists, Nazi sympathizers, carrying Nazi flags.
What?
He says carrying Nazi fags instead of flags.
No,
yeah,
man.
Listen.
Nazi sympathizers, carrying Nazi flags.
Yeah.
How can you even make that mistake? What is that? Maybe he meant cigarettes. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to smoke. He was thinking about smoking.
Oh, no, So we had a dust-up between Pelosi and Brolf.
Yeah, it was. Did you see the full 13 minutes?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I didn't, Mimi got me I got the 13 minutes, and she was more jacked up about it. I didn't get as jacked up about it. It's just her being argumentative, but I do have some clips out of it.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's just like she's insane. If you have better clips, I'd be glad to hear them.
No, as I've said before, in the morning I'll take a look at your clips. I don't listen to them. So I saw it. I'm like, okay, you got it covered. So you could needle drop it. You could needle drop it.
Yeah, to a point, but it's just like this insane woman. He's pretty straight-laced about it, but they did argue with each other quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I got to what I thought were three good chunks of it. This is part one.
$1 billion is significant and more than twice the Obama stimulus. Make a deal, put the ball in McConnell court. So what do you say to Ro Khanna?
What I say to you is, I don't know why you're always an apologist, and many of your colleagues apologists for the Republican position. Ro Khanna, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do, and nobody's waiting till February.
Now, let's just set this up. She is caught in a Trump negotiation time warp. And she is way out of her league because it's Trump. 2 weeks ago, he's like, I know we don't want to talk to her. 2 days later, oh yeah, great, want more. Hey, let's grab it all. Let's go big or go home. He's confusing her. He's running circles around her. And it's gotten to the point where now they are really, after the first trillion that he talked down, now they're really only $500 billion apart, which of course is exactly the money that Nancy Pelosi wants for the states that have been so poorly run. And he's toying with her.
I'm not going to argue with you. I think that's exactly what's going on at some level, but she seems to be toying with herself more. Mm-mm. And so she demeans members of her own party who just suggest, hey, can we get this done? And she's calling them out, and she's yelling about Ro Khanna because he comes in.
Let's just think about it. Let's just a question. Why did Brolf do this? Who was behind him?
I don't know.
I think it's Wall Street. I think it's Wall Street. It's the bankers. The market has been going up because they expect the stimulus to pop like a pussy pimple any day now. I think there's pressure.
I don't want to hear that. Makes me cringe. Plus should not be discussed.
I got it. Move on.
I don't see anybody else that could possibly, well...
But listen, Brolf didn't all of a sudden grow a conscience or a pair of...
No, I'm not going to argue that. That just makes no sense.
No way.
And she's all bent at it. Maybe she knows this is going on, and that's what got her so irked. She was irked.
Yeah. Well, and he didn't take it personally at all.
No, he was unflapped.
That's the one to watch is Brolf, not Pelosi. What was up with him? I think it had to be money.
It was pretty funny.
Big money.
Let's go to clip 2.
Do you have any idea of how
that's precisely why, Madam Speaker,
they're concerned?
That's why it's so important right now. Yesterday I spoke to Andrew Yang, who says the same thing. It's not everything you want,
but you know what?
There's a lot there.
Honest to God, you really, I can't get over it, because Andrew Yang, he's lovely. Ro Khanna, he's lovely. They are not negotiating this situation. They have no idea of the particulars. They have no idea of what the language is here. I didn't come over here to have... So you're the apologist for the Obama... Excuse me. God forbid.
Madam Speaker, I'm not an apologist. I'm asking you serious questions because so many people are in desperate need right now. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
When was the last time...
Let me respond to you.
Let me ask you, when was the last time, Madam Speaker, when was the last time you spoke with the President about this?
I don't speak to the President. Speak to his representative.
Why not call him and say, Mr. President, let's work out a deal. It's not going to be everything you want, not going to be everything I want, but there are so many Americans right now who are in desperate need. Let's make a deal.
What makes me amused, if it weren't so sad, is how you all think that you know more about the suffering of the American people than those of us who are elected by them to represent them at that table.
And that was it.
She's the woman.
Yeah.
She's the woman with the refrigerator filled with ice cream. This is a local story. I don't know if we talked about it on the show.
Oh yeah, we talked about her. I mean, Tucker was playing it. Everyone, look at her with the big Sub-Zero fridges. Yeah.
So, I don't know what she's really bent out of shape here.
Here's what I heard. That's her only. Look, this is in the middle. I'm glad you picked this clip because I liked it, especially because she flubbed and said, Obama, and then she actually crossed her arms over her chest. God forbid, like like the Beelzebub's going to come over and jab her with the pitchfork. This was the moment for her to use her negotiating tactic, and all she's got is we represent the people. She should have at least said, here's the reasons. Boom, 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 boom. She had nothing. We know. Ro Khanna, Andrew Yang, by the way.
They don't know nothing.
Yeah, racist. They don't know nothing.
Now, I should, first of all, I want to make it clear that I'm in total agreement that the only difference between these two programs is that she wants to bail out the poorly managed Democrat-run states.
That's the main thing, yeah.
So she's got a bunch of money she wants to get for that, and Trump's not budging on that.
Correct.
He'll get the number to the same, but that number goes to the public. It goes straight up. There's no.
That's exactly what he's doing. Let her think that it's for her, and then pull the rug out from under. That's genius.
So here's the last of the 3 clips.
And Madam Speaker, I certainly respect you, but I also respect Ro Khanna. I respect Andrew Yang. I respect members of the Democrats who are members of the problem solvers. They want a deal because so many people right now are suffering.
Well, the problem solvers, by the way, don't have any earned income tax credit or child tax credit in their proposal either. But let's not go into that. You evidently do not respect the chairman of the committees who wrote these bills.
I respect
and
all of you.
I wish you would respect the knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people. But again, you've been on JAG defending the administration all this time with no knowledge of the difference between our 2 bills, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that to you in person.
Right. Madam Speaker, these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll leave it on the note that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to you, but I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
And it's not about me. It's about millions of of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent,
and
who are
we
having
represent
trouble,
them, and
who
we
are
represent
trouble
them,
getting
and
by
we represent
these
them,
long food
and we
lines that we're
represent
seeing.
them.
I know
we
you
know
are.
them.
I'm just saying.
We represent them, and we know them.
As we say,
we know them. We represent them.
Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say.
It is nowhere near perfect.
Madam Speaker.
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
All right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically important.
Man, she wouldn't even say goodbye. It took her so long just to get off.
I think you got this one right. There's some bankers poking in there because they want to get this out of the way, and she's in the way.
Yeah, it's got to be. Who else is more powerful than Brolf?
And Brolf was like you noticed it because you saw it. He's just sitting there stone-faced the whole time. He's not like Cuomo, the kid, Fredo, who gets all bent out of shape and starts spitting and grimacing. He's just hanging in there like a champ. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. No, that was a beautiful piece of television, and I'm very appreciative of having it. 13 minutes. I watched it again this morning. I was going to pull the same clips basically, so that worked out well. It was really that middle piece where she flubs it up in Obama, and then at the end, like, we represent them, we represent them, we represent them, we represent them.
I know, that was my favorite.
What is going on? So she's on the ropes, man. But I will say, she looked really good. She looked young. Her hair was done. I think there was a Botox.
Nobody else gets their hair done around here.
Her hair was well done. It was nice length. I couldn't help but notice it. Her hands look, that's where it's always the giveaway. Even her hands they're not the hands of an 80-year-old woman typically. And so she, that just made it so sad for her when she wasn't getting her way.
Yeah, she really,
It was
really expects to get
it was
away.
quite outstanding.
Yeah. Now another little dust. It wasn't quite a dust up. Well, yeah, I say it was a dust up. Meg Kelly decided to bring in Mark Cuban.
Oh yes, I've heard about this. I heard about this.
And it has two parts. I only took the one part because I thought it was a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Meg Kelly is a podcaster now.
I know, and she has sponsors.
Well, this is the Meg Kelly Show in a nutshell, 15 seconds.
Oh, goodness.
But first, let me tell you about Legacy Box. Do you have a bunch of old pictures sitting around your house or old VHS tapes, like me, if you were born back in the 1970s or 80s, and you want to look at that stuff? There's a reason you kept it.
I'm looking at the waveform of this clip. I'm like, I wonder what she says at the end there. I wonder what's coming. and just to be able to say, it's Megyn Kelly and her Legacy Box. I mean, none of this is good. And,
no.
And it reminds me of, I don't know if it was an email or so I saw it. One of the Gimlet shows. Gimlet, isn't that the first thing that Spotify bought? Which I think
that's the first big purchase.
Yeah, and they have all the lefty political shows. I think I may have it wrong, but there was some back and forth. Maybe it was on a message board. Hey, I hear you guys with these really weird host reads in your show for things that don't really fit with your show at all. And the reply from one of the producers was, "Yeah, we have no say over what Spotify sells ad-wise, but at least we can refuse to do it as part of our unionization." This shit is going down, man. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to explode. This is not going to end well.
It's a big crash waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought, listening to her talk about legacy, we're doing a host read, which for the people out there who do any podcast know what that means.
Usually it goes like this. Let me tell you about gold.
I mean, Mark Levin does it. Yes. He'll be talking some serious thing, then switch right to gold.
Ben Shapiro does it in the middle of interviews.
Shapiro does it all. It's embarrassing.
It is.
I'm going to just say it.
It's embarrassing.
It's an embarrassment. It's a humiliation to do that. I've always, even when I was at Mevio, they'd always want you to do this stuff. And I say, can't the advertisers produce something? Why am I supposed to read it? I don't know who these guys are. And it was always irksome to certain people at that company. But
of course it's irksome. Absolutely.
This idea of the host, it's called a host read. And the idea is, because people, if they like the host and they read the copy that sells some stupid product, the person's more likely to buy it.
It's basically an unpaid endorsement by said host.
It's an unpaid endorsement. It's sick. And I will say, if that was so great that it should be done that way, why isn't this constantly shown on like NCIS, where Mark Harmon comes out and sells a Chevy? Seriously.
No, boner pills. I want them to stop right in the middle. Hey, man, we should go back to headquarters. Got to pick up my boner pills. I mean, anything would be good.
I think that the host read is a version of what we talked about early in the show, which is a shut up slave thing. It's a control mechanism. Let's make this dancing monkey an unwitting endorser.
Yep, dancing monkey. And it's interesting that the same people who are doing these embarrassing host reads will be the first one to say to me, how embarrassing you have to ask for money.
Yeah, that's really funny, isn't it?
Seriously. That's kind of embarrassing. You begging
go down
for
to
money?
The priest.
Yeah.
Go to the local church and say that to him. That's embarrassing for him to ask for money. He should have advertisers in his church.
And while you're at it, kick him in the shins. Should have advertisers. Should have Nike, Black Lives Matter, all kinds of cool ads in the church. Yeah, we're onto something here, John. This is like the old switcheroo. You guys take that.
She had two things.
Okay, yeah.
She talked about the NBA's ratings falling through the floor and whose fault was that. And she says all the messages. She says Republicans are sick of these messages. They won't watch the NBA. And it's their fault. And he says, no, the ratings are fine. Everything's fine. And when she talks about Black Lives, I'm summarizing because believe me, these clips would be too long.
Yeah.
And she'd say, well, Black Lives Matter is not everything to everyone. She said, and then he goes, what Black Lives Matter do you mean? Do you mean the website? Do you mean the hashtag?
Oh, Black Lives Matter Inc. or Black Lives Matter something else? Oh.
Yeah, the movement.
Yeah.
So, the whole thing went on for a while. I think it was like almost an hour.
Oh, boy.
First, it started off with a lot of happy talk.
Were they together? I'm sorry. Were they together? Were they in the studio?
No, this was over a line.
Oh my God, was it bearable? That's probably horrible.
It was very good.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
I mean, it wasn't great. His line was a little muddy, but she was clean as a whistle. But the whole thing was produced by somebody. So and that went on and on. But then it gets into the really nasty part, which is the plush I clipped, which is about China. And him beating around the bush about China.
Yeah, nice.
And these clips themselves are very long, just 2 minutes and 3 minutes.
I'm good.
Which is really long, but you can interrupt if you have to, because she talks slow and he doesn't want to answer any questions. And then he accuses her of asking mean-spirited questions the whole show. And that's not true, because the first half hour of the show, they were just two chums. Her style of interviewing is to be really chummy for a very long time.
Butter you up until you let your guard down.
And why he did the interview in the first place, and that's something we should discuss before I play these two clips, is she's a cutie and he thinks he's a player.
That's exactly right. What an idiot.
And he saw, I can do Megan. She's just a good-looking blonde. I can handle a blonde.
In fact, it was offhand. Yes, I'll do and you know what? Also, it's just a podcast. Hello, just a podcast. Megyn Kelly. It's so sad. Yes, she got fired. She's no good. Yeah, maybe one day I can go over. I might run into her. You never know. I might get lucky because he's a dog. He's a dog. We both know who he had sex with while he was married.
Well, so here we go. And now it's contentious. He doesn't sound the same. He's happy-go-lucky for the first half hour, and then she already grilled him about the NBA ratings, and now he's irked that he's even in this interview. And here we go with NBA 1.
Because I have to ask you about China. The NBA is under all sorts of fire for taking money from China. And China, what I'm told is that the NBA's revenue from China is around $500 million at least. So it's a lot of money that the Chinese put into basketball, into the players and endorsements and so on. And my question for you is, whether the NBA needs to get more, not less vocal about this. There was some guy who sent out one tweet. He was the GM for the Houston Rockets back in October of 19 saying simply, fight for freedom, stand with Hong Kong. And all hell broke loose. The Chinese Basketball Association suspended all cooperation with the team. The Chinese top state TV suspended airing of the games and so on. The NBA commissioner had to come out with his tail between his legs and said, we have great respect for China and its history. It's all regrettable. Then people freaked out in response to that and so on. And now people are looking at...
By the way, notice she's doing voices like we do. She's doing the NBA commissioner and the apology. She's doing voices.
That's interesting because I don't know that she's done that in the past.
This is a podcast.
Well, she's a podcast.
It's a podcaster.
For China and its history, it's all regrettable. Then people freaked out in response to that and so on. And now people
with his tail between his legs, Megan, why can't you just ask me a straight up question?
I'm trying to summarize it for our viewers, Mark.
Yeah, but Megan, every single topic we've tried to discuss, and I've just tried, you get to come into this interview prepared with your quotes. I don't get to come in prepared. This is your industry. Yeah, but Megan, that's what I'm talking about. I don't care what industry we're talking about. Every single topic that you brought up, there's been one pejorative aspect to it in terms of how you present the question.
Hold on. I know what's going on here. Now I remember because I saw it this morning. The new season of Shark Tank is about to start, and they have Kendra Scott, who's an Austin jewelry designer. She's going to be on the new season. He's doing promo for the new season. That's why he's doing interviews, and that's why he's like, you're prepared, all this, because he wasn't prepared for this. He thought it was going to be about Shark Tank.
Oh, you're dead right. That's why he's all irked.
Yeah. That's why he can't believe it's happening, because he never thought a podcast would get out of control like this.
Especially from a ditzy blonde. Did he figure he'd get in the sack if he wanted?
Exactly. This is a bad day. This is a day wrecker for Mark Cuban, which just goes to show money can't buy you happiness or love.
This interview prepared with your quotes. I don't get
this is your industry.
Yeah, but Megan, that's what I'm talking about. I don't care what industry we're talking about. Every single topic that you brought up, there's been one pejorative aspect to it in terms of how you present the question.
Look, I get it. I'll give you the objective statement from Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner. I'm just telling you, people freaked out after he said this. I take no position on it right here. Oh, a lot of people. I mean, I'll give you an example.
A lot of people.
So Adam Silver,
people,
let me give you the...
People say...
Hold on.
We can quote President Trump. People say...
Hold on. Okay. Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, came out and said, we recognize that Daryl Morey, he was the Rockets GM. Morey's views, quote, have deeply offended our friends and fans in China, which is regrettable. We have great respect for the history and culture of China and hope that sports and the NBA can be used as a unifying force to bridge cultural divides. In response to which, many people, here's just one example, Florida Senator Rick Scott came out and said, the NBA is more interested in money than in human rights. They are kowtowing to Beijing, and it's shameful. So you tell me whether the NBA needs to get more vocal in condemning what we're now seeing there, which is an ethnic cleansing of a minority Muslim group known as the Uyghurs.
All he wanted to do was promote Shark Tank. Don't do that to me, Megyn Kelly.
Yeah, you're right. He waltzed right into it. And I wouldn't trust Megyn Kelly as far as I could throw her. She's a mean-spirited interviewer. She'll go after you.
Wow. You know what this is? A rookie mistake, ladies and gentlemen. What a dope.
Yeah, that was a rookie mistake. Yeah. He just thinks there's a bunch of softballs going to go and plug the show. And they did for the first half hour. They're just chatting back and forth like old buddies. And then she laces into him, and it goes extreme, and it's just so funny to watch.
But the stuff he just said there.
You see
yes, sorry.
You see this in movies, where they have the nice, you're going to come over, the nice interviewer, and she gets you on the stage, the cameras go live, and then she just goes after you.
Okay.
It's a kind of a joke. It's a script gag. Now, but it's true. People do this.
Now I know there's some more China talk coming up because Tina was telling me about it. But the stuff he just said in this first 2.5 minutes is already enough, I think, for him to lose his franchise. China King James LeBron is China's bitch. Mark Cuban has no standing to talk like this. I think he's in trouble.
He beats around the bush, throws it back. He does all these tricks he can do to get out of this. Mm-hmm. Still condemns China in an offhanded way because she keeps hounding him. Mm-hmm. And he could have gotten out of this in a lot of different ways, including walking.
Yeah,
which I don't like the idea of walking. Which would, for anyone out there who knows what I'm talking about, is just quitting the interview, saying, "This bullshit. I'm out of here."
Rage quit.
Rage quit. Rage quit. Take the mic off, put it down, and that's not what I signed up for. I don't know what you're up to, but I'm out of here. You can do that. Yeah. Anyone out there who has an interview.
You know who did that? You know who does that best? Who's done it several times? With Dvorak? Trump.
Oh, yeah, Trump has done it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can do this. People don't really, they always like to emphasize and they make a big deal. Oh, look what he did. He couldn't take it. But no, sometimes this is just, as far as I'm concerned, Curry Dvorak Consulting media advice. You are legitimate to do this if you have been misled.
Yep.
And all you have to say afterwards, I was misled.
Yeah. And people should go take a look at how Trump does that.
You say I did it. I'm not a punching bag for this woman. She comes on, she talks sweet, and then she starts giving me all kinds of grief about stuff I didn't want to talk about because I don't even know that much. I'm not that qualified to talk about it, but yet I'm expected to. And I was told this wasn't going to happen. So what am I supposed to do? I had to walk.
Yeah.
And you're in the right.
But you should if you haven't seen it, take a look at how Trump, long time ago, walks away from Borat. And he does it well. He's like, Borat looks foolish there because Trump knows how to do it. And he was on to it. He said, "No, okay, this is dumb." But you got to do it pretty quick too. All right.
Yeah. By the point we are now in this interview with Kelly, well, he should have done it during the NBA ratings arguments.
Yeah.
He could have walked a lot earlier before they even got into China. But now he's stuck in the China talk, and he thinks he's so smart that he figures he can talk his way out of it. But no, she never lets up. And so here's the final part that I clipped because I thought this is where he really gets himself into trouble.
Which is an ethnic cleansing of a minority Muslim group known as the Uyghurs. 1 million or more are being held against their will right now. Men, women, and children facing torture, forced labor, physical and sex abuse, coercive population control, forced abortion, forced sterilizations. And
hair removal.
The question remains, why won't you and the NBA explicitly condemn that?
Well, first, we pay attention. I personally, okay, let's just talk about me. I personally put a priority on domestic issues, right? When it comes to human rights, I'm against all human rights violations around the world. China,
including the ones in China?
China is not the only country with human rights violations.
Right, but including the ones in China, you're against their human rights violations?
I'm against all human rights violations.
Including China, Mark?
Yes, including China.
Whoa, wow. She badgered him and he fell. He crumbled. He said it. He still could have gotten out and he said it. Wow, that's unbelievable.
China is not the only country with human rights violations.
Right, but including the ones in China, you're against their human rights violations?
I'm against all human rights violations.
Including China, Mark?
Yes, including China. Any human rights violations anywhere are wrong. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what do we do about them? That's the problem. Right. So the first thing you do, you say, okay, there's people from China trying to escape that. There's people from Turkey. There's people from Africa all trying to escape and receive asylum here in the United States. Would you agree with them? Would you agree with that?
Look, according to you.
I'm asking a question. Would you agree that the question, there are people who are trying to escape human rights violations around the world and gain asylum as refugees here in the United States of America?
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yes, that's true.
Okay, would you agree that it's probably a good idea that we should allow more of them to come so they can escape these human rights issues?
You're not going to put this back on me. This is about
I'm not putting anything on you. I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking you a question. No, we're talking about human rights.
No, I'm explaining to my audience that what's happening now is you're dodging because you're uncomfortable because the NBA will not condemn China in its
I just told you I'm against human rights violations everywhere, including China.
Well, let's get specific. Do you condemn the genocide that's going on right now in China toward the Uyghurs?
I condemn all human rights violations.
Why can't you be specific?
Yes, because the way proclamations work in this country, the minute you say them anywhere, you're going to use this as a headline. Cuban says this, and this.
What's wrong with that headline? Cuban condemns ethnic cleansing
because I got to deal with the troll bots then. I got to deal with the troll bots. Now, what's more important to ask is what actions that I think are important to deal with these issues. You want proclamations, but you're not, when I try to talk about actions, you ignore them and say I'm evading the question.
I have been told silence is violence. And my question for you is,
what I'm telling you,
why have you been so silent?
Action is change. I'm telling you, action is change.
So
and I'm
what
telling
are you doing
about
about this?
So I just tried to explain it to you, right? I've been involved trying to increase the number of slots available for asylum seekers here in the United States. Right now, if someone were to escape any country that has human rights violations and get to this country, they can't get a job.
Come on.
You know why they can't?
That's not a response to what's happening in China.
Bullshit,
why would you take why would the NBA take $500 million plus from a country that is engaging in ethnic cleansing?
So basically you're saying that nobody should do business with China ever.
Why don't you just answer my question?
No, Megan, I'm just trying to get to the root of it.
Okay. Maybe I missed it, but I thought at one point in the interview he had said China is a client. Maybe I missed it in this piece.
I've never heard that. I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah, I had it.
I heard that somewhere he said China is a client.
I had it this morning, and I didn't clip it. I didn't clip it because I thought you would have it. Oh, wait. I have it. Here it is. I did clip it.
When it comes to human rights, I'm against all human rights violations around the world. China,
including the ones in China?
China is not the only country with human rights violations.
Right, but do you condemn the genocide that's going on right now in China toward the Uyghurs?
I condemn all human rights violations.
Why can't you be specific?
Yes, because the way proclamations work in this country, the minute you say them anywhere, you're going to use this as a headline. Cuban says this, and this.
What's wrong with that headline? Cuban condemns ethnic cleansing
because I got to deal with the troll bots then.
Why would the NBA take $500 million plus from a country that is engaging in ethnic cleansing?
So basically, you're saying that nobody should do business with China ever. They are a customer. They are a customer of ours. And guess what, Megan? I'm okay with doing business with China.
Here it is. The customer. I thought this was client, but it was customer.
If I had heard that, I would have recorded. That sounds like it was clipped in.
It does, and I didn't clip this. Someone sent it to me, but it does sound like it was him. China's a customer, so I don't know.
No, that's definitely, but that doesn't mean it was.
No.
I'll go back and listen.
I think, man, because you did this yourself, right? This clipping.
Yeah, I clipped it from the podcast.
Yeah, then I think someone is pulling a fast one on us.
I would.
That could be. That could be.
To her, right?
Yeah.
She right after that. I'll tell you how it ended. Right there, he goes and says that she closes the interview right after that, and they say goodbye to each other.
Right. I'm saying something different. I already figured it out. This is propaganda that was probably put on Instagram or Twitter, and someone edited that. This of course did not come from the original source, which you listened to, and it got out in the wild, and it got to me. And I heard the edit. Now that I'm listening, I hear the edit. That's totally edited, and that's egregious. And I'm glad we caught it, because that stuff happens to us too. And not that someone sent it to me with ill intent, but it's out there.
We get a lot of stuff that's poorly sourced.
Yeah.
And I want to tell people out there, when somebody sends me something poorly sourced or something like that clip, the client's a client.
Yeah. Customer.
I really read them the riot act, and make it that they really shouldn't be sending stuff in at all if they can't.
Well, as I said, when I saw your clips this morning, like, okay, you got it covered, because we trust each other that way. You got it covered. But I did apparently drop the clip in, which someone sent to me, so that's what happened there. Before we take a break, just real briefly on the Beau Biden laptop and emails. Because I think we just need to discuss it.
I would think we have to discuss it, and I want to give the perspective of the left, because I was listening to left-wing talk radio.
Okay.
And their take is hilarious.
Okay.
But no, I want you to say, I'll bring it in as we go.
Well, I have no clips. I only have conclusions. And what I'm seeing is the Republican Trump playbook. Same with Hillary. Couple weeks before the election, email scandal. Rudy Giuliani involved. I mean, it's just as bad as the left rolling out their playbook. They've had
same old.
They've had this for a long time. Giuliani had it. They've got all. They've just been waiting to spring it, which is now. And I think this is. I don't know if the Trump team has anything better than this. They're all in on it. Don Jr.'s doing special videos, and this is no secret. Jim Biden, James. These are a bunch of grifters who surround and protect the golden boy Joe, who's special because he's dumb, and everyone's known it, and they've always just pushed him around. And is it Robert? Is it Robert? There's a whole bunch of Bidens.
We had a clip of somebody describing the entire family. It was quite funny.
Yeah, I mean,
that's months ago. Yeah.
And just go look at the property these folks have, folks. This is not your 47 year career politician with just a regular salary. I mean, this is. And just look at all the money. It's because the media does not cover it. There's no need to because they're all in on it. They're part of the same team. Trump is trying to roll this out really, really big. And I think that hidden under this, there's no way that this is going to, if you're expecting anything to happen before the election or even after the election, don't hold your breath. There is a trap here, and I like it, but I want to hear the perspective from the left.
What is the trap?
No, I want to hear it's unrelated.
Well, okay, the left says the whole thing is ginned up. And it's a good thing. Yeah, it's ginned up. The whole thing is fake.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not getting any coverage from the mainstream media, and it's not.
Except for Fox.
And Fox is only doing a piss poor job.
Yeah, but they're doing wall to wall. Come on. Last night I came home wall to wall.
I'm not watching Fox that much.
Yeah, I watched it last night.
Let's go with, I got a $1.46 here. $1.46.
Hey, everybody.
ABC News. This is the Wednesday rundown. Then look for the Joe Biden material in here.
Tonight, cases of the coronavirus surging in the U.S. and news tonight on the president's son, Barron. First Lady Melania Trump revealing Barron did test positive for COVID after she and the president tested positive too. What she reveals about her son and her own symptoms from the virus. And the president is asked about his son today, what he says, then quickly pivoting to his Supreme Court nominee. This all comes as the number of hospitalizations rises in at least 36 states tonight, amid concerns of a second wave in this country with Americans closer together in the colder weather. The warning late today from Dr. Anthony Fauci about Thanksgiving gatherings. We also have news on children and vaccine trials tonight, and the second wave already hitting Europe. The Supreme Court showdown, Judge Amy Coney Barrett, the president's choice to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg, pressed today by both Democrats and Republicans on the Affordable Care Act, coverage for millions, with a case before the court just days after the election. Republicans signaling today they know this is an issue the American people are watching closely, and what they asked Judge Barrett to clarify today. Terry Moran standing by. 20 days until Election Day, early voting now underway in 48 states. What we're seeing across the country, you'll hear from voters right here tonight. And President Trump in our most recent poll down significantly among women overnight, asking suburban women, quote, "Will you please like me?" News tonight on the woman in New York's Central Park who called 911 about a black man, a bird watcher, falsely claiming he was threatening her, and what prosecutors have now revealed. And we are just learning tonight that one of the top college football coaches in America has come down with COVID.
Oh, man. Boo.
It's all COVID.
Boo.
Didn't even mention Biden's name once.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, before I forget, I just wanted to say to Megyn Kelly, Megyn, I am creating Podcasting 2.0 for you now. I want you to be able to continue this work and get paid. I promise you I will do everything I can so that you don't have to talk about your legacy box, which also is going to go away. No one's going to sponsor you. She is now a national treasure. That was beautiful. I'm very proud to have her in podcasting.
She's good. She had a couple of whips, a couple of jerk thing bang punches. He tried the old sales trick. Yeah, tell me that this is. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
She did it once.
Please. No. And she even explained to the audience what the trick was.
It was after the second time. She would put up with one. He asked her again, well, let me ask you this. Wait a minute. Why are you asking me anything, chump? And she says, no, don't turn this around on me. And then she goes after him. And then he's all befuddled because he is a sales guy at the bottom of everything.
Yeah.
And, it was a total fail on his part.
Now, but she's loose. She's doing voices. Before you know it, she'll be doing jingles. Come on. Megyn is a gem. I'm going to make it my personal business to get it working for her. Now, back to the Hunter Biden thing. It's just a typical October surprise. They've had it ready. It was time to do it. Rudy's all jitty with it. Of course, this is what the entire Trump family was blamed of doing. But je zegt ben jezelf, met je kop door de helft. So now, there you go. It's actually the guys who are accusing us who are really doing it. There's enough evidence. It doesn't matter. Nothing's going to happen. But what was fantastic was the admission by Facebook and Twitter, admission in public and to the media.
This was a mistake.
And I will read you the headline from CNBC. Facebook, Twitter make editorial decisions to limit distribution of story claiming to show smoking gun emails related to Biden and his son, a definite, clear violation of Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. And they have, because the Senate Republicans, Senate Republicans tweeted, that was the account, "See you soon, Jack," because they have all been subpoenaed October 28th. They are supposed to appear before the committee to testify about their reasoning for hiding behind Section 230. They're done. They're toast. This was it.
Kayleigh got cut off of Twitter.
But that's an editorial decision. It doesn't matter. That's all that counts. It's not about censorship.
Kayleigh got cut off.
Yeah.
Well, the editorial decision and the problem they're going to have is answering the question is because you did this with this New York Post article. Why didn't you do this with the New York Times article about Trump's stolen? According to the note that Kayleigh got from Twitter, we do not let people report on hacked emails. That's what it said.
Yeah.
Well, the Trump tax returns were hacked.
Yeah.
And they let that slide.
If that's what they're going to do, then look, this is a violation of the law, and it was blatant. It was out there, and it had to do with right before the elections. Forget about if Trump did that, who cares? This is a violation of the law, the very law that has kept them so powerful. I'm going to be watching very closely who calls them to account. That's all that matters. It's about Section 230. They violated it. They've been doing it for a long time, and it needs to stop. So they need to be suable. They need to get Section 230 is important for people like us with a Mastodon server. That's what Section 230 is for, not for these douchebags. No. I think it's a trap. And it could be Trump's goodbye gift, depending on the outcome of the election. They're busted. Plain and simple. And they're going to hide behind the International Fact-Checking Network, which I'd like to remind you is who determines when something is wrong on Facebook and Twitter.
Wrong.
And I'd like to remind you who are members of the International Fact Check Network. It is led by Alexio Manzarlis. Here we go. That's the guy running it. And it's run by Poynter, by the way, Pointr. Isn't that the famous
Poynter.org?
Yeah, they're the journalist Who House Club. International Fact Check Network has received funding from the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, the Duke Reporters Lab, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Google, the Endowment for Democracy, the Omidyar Network, Open Society Foundations, and the Park Foundation.
Yeah, all lefties.
a little more than just lefties. These are the douches that everyone takes their orders from. It's disgusting. And
well, they got the way they would put it in the olden days. They got their tit in the ringer. And by the way, there was a phrase earlier that I wanted to point out. I forgot, but I'm looking at it on the list here. Did you notice when we had those Trump clips? He says the protester would come out, then he'd end up going back home to his mom's basement, and then he'd get bawled out.
Yeah, that is an old phrase, isn't it?
I haven't heard that phrase probably for 20 years.
I got bawled out by my mom. Yeah.
Bawled out. And how's that spelled? Is it B-A-L-L-E-D or B-A-W-L-E-D?
I always thought it was with a W. I thought it was a W. Bawled out. That's what I thought.
Well, I don't know. I have to look it up. But I realize I haven't heard that phrase. I mean, that's that's mom and dad's stuff from way back.
All right, let's pat ourselves on the back for 1 second. Are you familiar with the Mises Institute?
Of course.
Did you see that we got a thumbs up from the Mises Institute, the show itself?
I would have expected that, yeah.
Did you see it?
I did not see that, though, no.
Build Back Better. Why are both Biden and Boris now using this phrase? So it goes into a little bit of the Build Back Better, the similarities, and that this is showing up all of a sudden. And then as you read down through this, the UN have taken the liberty of translating the slogan into Spanish, Portuguese, French, and many other tongues, so that politicians all over the world can sing from the same hymn sheet. The No Agenda podcast, hosted by Adam Curry and John C. Dvorak, is a fantastic resource for keeping track of the growing number of co-occurrences of the Build Back Better meme. How about that?
Well, we should pick up somebody from that, yeah.
That's the Woods bump.
And by the way, the Woods. Yeah, Tom Woods.
Tom Woods, yeah.
And that, by the way, that commentary is dead on the money, and it's absolutely accurate.
And can we now say, according to the Mises Institute?
Well, what did they have a complimentary thing that they said about us?
Well, that's what I just read to you.
No, I know, but was there a complimentary word like excellent?
Oh,
did you say excellent? Hold on.
Let me see. Let me see now. Let me see what the... I just got to open it up again. I had it closed. Okay. Let's see. Host of Adam Curry. Fantastic resource. How about that?
There it is.
The No Agenda Show is a fantastic resource, according to the Mises Report.
That's absolutely legal.
What?
Legal. That's absolutely legal. We can do that.
Let's do it again. The No Agenda Show is a fantastic resource, according to the Mises Institute.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
Well, we're a fantastic resource because we have fantastic producers.
We do.
And we want to name a few of them, starting with Sir J.D. Mack of the Digital Prairie in Decatur, Illinois. Sir Borislav Marinoff, Duke. When did he become Duke? I think he's been a Duke for a while.
Could be.
$128.50, and he's in Trabuco Canyon, California. Zadok Brown III in Pukalani, Hawaii. Pukalani, yes. $110.01. Tom DiNardo in Cedar, Minnesota, nuts, $100. Scott Smith in Noblesville, Indiana, $100. Dean Morrow, $100. And now we got Paul Saxton. And this thing is so...
Yeah, Paul doesn't seem to have... maybe Paul's new.
He sent us a ridiculously long note for some reason.
Yeah, well, he wants jingles and shout-outs. And, we for brevity of the show, we really... try to do this for, in fact, that's the rule, the associate executive producers and the executive producers. And that segment is already pretty long. But he does have a birthday, and he's on the list for that. He says he had no choice but to donate for his birthday. Well, yes, of course. And I think he also wanted, did he need a de-douching?
Yeah, he needs a de-douching.
Okay. We'll give him that for sure.
You've been de-douched.
Now, he had a douchebag call out somewhere, and unfortunately, his note's so long it's hard to find.
He wants to call out Sir 101010 as a douchebag, but I don't understand. Why? Sir 101010 donated just recently. He's not a douchebag.
We can't do that. We can't do just douchebags because you don't like the guy. All right, you're on the birthday list. I think that's gonna suffice. And we'll give you a karma at the end, which is what we do here. Scott Tweed in Aliso Viejo, California, 8008. Sean Collier in Henderson, Nevada, right up to where you guys were.
Well, he was at the meetup. He says, great to hang out.
Was he there?
It was great to hang out.
Henderson, Nevada.
He says, great to hang out.
It was like a party.
That's what he said, yes.
Darren O'Neill in Mokina, Illinois, 6360. Or one of our fabulous
as he said, his profits from Deep State and No Agenda University gear. I have it on my site at noagendastore.com. I need some health karma and an F cancer for my mom. She's recovering from her double bypass and now has been diagnosed with colon cancer. It's localized, should be treatable. It's Sir Darren O'Neill. We need to stop and we need to do this right away. Exactly. Is no doubt about it. You got it right here, man. With a goat.
You've got karma.
With the all-curing goat.
Sir, not appearing on this podcast in Richland, Washington, 5678. Matthew Golian in Rockford, Illinois, 5569. Andrew Gianettino is a G-Man, the security guard, actually. Yeah. 5210. Tony Smith in Fort Worth, Texas, 50. These are $50 donors, name and location. Abhilash Kumar in Thane, India. That's nice.
Wow.
Michael, what?
I said wow.
Yeah, that's what it is. A wow. Michael Burlett in Odessa, Florida. Chris Lavine in San Juan Capistrano, France. That's odd. Mary Worth Mary Worth with an E in Overland Park, Kansas. Sir Chris Slewinski in Sherwood Park, Alberta, where the money used to be. Robert Kerbach in Essexville, Michigan, 50. David Andrews in Dallas, Texas. Tyler Davis in parts unknown. Dame Patricia Worthington, who's helping a lot. In Miami. Sir Lab Rat of the Hill Country in Universal City, Texas. And last but not least, Sir Brandon Savoy in Port Orchard, Washington. I want to thank all these folks for supporting and contributing to and producing show 1286.
Yeah, and what a show indeed, and a showing of hands, and we appreciate it so much. Also, people came in under $50. If you don't know, if you're new to the show, that's never going to be mentioned. We keep people anonymous under that, and people seem to like that. Also, we have many people who are on one of our subscriptions, which helps the show a lot. It's a sustaining donation, and we have quite a smorgasbord and an array. So if you don't mind, please go and check that out and support us in this grand experiment of value for value for Sunday show by going to
Dvorak.org/NA.
Let's give a jobs karma to everybody.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
It's your birthday. Oh, no agenda.
Yep, we're halfway through the month, and it goes fast, doesn't it? We have birthdays today. Paul Saxton celebrated his 33rd on the 12th. Mary Worth, her husband is turning 56. We just heard about that. Mike of Makita, 41 years old today. And Shauna Benson will be celebrating on October 26th. We say happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe. Now, we do have our one Daming with the incredibly long name, and we have one Knight, so let's get out. It's sharp here. You got your blade?
Here you go.
Yeah. Poke an eye out with that thing. Up on the podium, please, Christine Frost and Will Robertson. Both of you are ready to join the No Agenda Roundtable of our Knights and Dames. Thanks to your support of $1,000 or more. Thank you so much, and I am very proud to pronounce the KD as Sir Robertson of Two Sticks and Dame Christine, cultivator, crafter, and critter custodian of Clark County, Nevada. For you, we've got Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys, and Chardonnay. By special request, Arnold Palmer's and a flamethrower. Rabbit meat and goat milk. We've got Brazilian hotties and cachaça, beer and blunts, redheads and ryes, geishas and sake, bong hits and bourbon, ginger ale and gerbils, and of course, mutton, and mead. It is the staple of the round table. And if you head over to noagendanation.com/rings, even while he's on the road, Eric the Shill will help you. We'll get his get your address, where the shipping address, or the ring size, all the stuff, because it's a beautiful signet ring. It's real, with sealing wax, and of course your official Knight or Dame certificate. And thank you for supporting the No Agenda show.
No Agenda.
Always like a party. It was just like an old school party in Vegas. And we have one report today from the Denver City Parks sit-in meetup.
Hello, No Agenda Nation. This is the Denver City Park sit-in meetup, where we're remaining healthily skeptical of one another. I'm going to pass the mic around for anyone who wants to say anything.
Hello from Denver Metro. We're not all stupid. Yay.
In the morning, this is Mountain J. Don't eat
Mountain
Jaden.
This is Jim from Denver in the morning.
This is Matt from Castle Rock in the morning. I'm still trying to play Spot the Spook.
Yeah. This is Sir Beach Bum in the morning, gentlemen.
Hi, TM, everybody. This is Pablo.
Hey, this is Paul from Greeley. I like the boobs too, John.
This is Sir Scott. John, stay safe. This is Adrian Bronfman with lootsafe.org, reminding all citizens of Gitmo Nation that a family that loots together stays together. In the morning.
This is Marcus. Shout out to my smoking hot laptop. And plus to the chat room.
This is Emily of Littleton. This is Tacos.
And it's been the biggest meetup so far. We're looking forward to the next Monday meetup 2 weeks from now at to be determined. Go to noagendameetups.com.
I love hearing these meetup reports, because I know that some people, when they hear themselves, will be like, "Oh gosh, I sound silly."
Yeah, it's funny that. When did you first realize what you sounded like?
When I was 6 years old, Mark Redmer sold me his reel-to-reel tape recorder. It was a miniature one, and the trick was, at $5, I had to save for it for a long time, and he only knew how to make it work, so I had to keep going back to him, and then he would typically wind up sitting on my head. So it's all very traumatic. But that's when I heard it the first time, and I remember, holy crap, I sound like a girl.
What, 6? Yeah, I'm sure you did.
And I worked all my life to not sound like a girl. I never went through puberty where my voice dropped. I just forced it from a young age.
Well, that's the weirdest story you've ever told on the show.
No. It's why weird? It's true.
Well, I don't remember when. I think I had a tape recorder too when I was a kid. And it wasn't traumatic. I was old enough. I think my voice was already changing. And I didn't think much about it one way or the other, to be honest about it. But I know a lot of people are traumatized when they hear their own voice. And the funny thing is, I think if I hear a recording of myself, and I'm hearing myself as I talk, and you do too, we all do, I'm hearing my own voice. I'm not hearing some other voice. I'm hearing exactly what I sound like. To me, is exactly what I sound like. Which maybe that's weird. I don't know.
No, and I should clarify.
I think once you know what you sound like, then I think your system adjusts and say, yeah, that's what you sound like. You just sound like that.
I should clarify that at the same age, my grandmother gave me a small, square Sony transistor radio. I think it was AM only, but it was solid state. It was high level. It was high quality AM radio. Which later was what triggered when I saw the iPod. I thought, oh crap, that looks just like my radio. Maybe we could do radio broadcasts on it.
Did you keep that little Sony? That thing is a
God, I wish. It's like a cube. I know exactly what it looks like. No, of course not. I don't have it. That would be beautiful. I should look and see if one's available. And I would put it under my pillow at night, and I'd listen to the radio. And oddly enough, basketball games were fascinating to me because I remember hearing the squeaking on the court, and it was just
squeak, squeak, squeak.
And the little boominess. So I was really into the sound of it. And I listened to these guys talk like this. And I was just, fascinated. And I wanted to be on the radio from that time. So when I got the tape recorder and I heard, as the chat room kindly points out that I still sound like a girl, you
let yourself wide open.
certainly between when I was building my first transmitters around the age of 13, and I had a microphone, also CB radio. Yeah, hey everybody, I'm talking like this. And, it's always perfect for radio. And I had a face for radio and Tourette's. Excuse me, do you realize why I was trying to not sound like a girl? I wanted to have a career where I didn't have to be seen. This is all true, by the way. This is not a joke. That's really true.
Not a joke.
Not a joke, man. Meetups, quick little overview of the schedule. Coming up on Saturday, the Smokin' Hot Springfield, Missouri meetup number 3 at 2 o'clock Central Time. Also on Saturday, the Winston-Salem, North Carolina meetup at 2 o'clock. Sunday, now this is, I just wanted to make note of this, and I'm going to talk to the back office. I thought it was weird last week or last show when I saw that there was an Austin No Agenda. There was a meetup at 1 o'clock in Austin. Like, who schedules a meetup to start when the show is on? And I just mentioned it offhanded, and I see it's called the No Agenda Liberty Barbecue Meetup. So I just want everybody to know that this was put on the calendar by someone who just started listening to the show and has a monthly event, a libertarian party event. So I want you to know, if you're going to go to that, that's a political event, and I don't think it should be on our calendar.
We've
quite
talked
honestly.
about this. I talked about this with Mimi and others.
But it slipped in.
Yeah, it should not be on the list.
Yeah. So,
get your own meetup.com. The meetups are specific. We can't have everybody's meetup for everything. The wheat farmers are meeting for, to discuss the price of wheat. That's not what this is for. It's not an open, for everybody kind of thing. It's just,
and I think it was, and no malice intended, so I'm not, we shouldn't be, I think it's an honest mistake.
I don't think there's any malice intended by anyone trying to exploit this meetup system.
But I'm just saying that
it's just inappropriate.
Yeah, it should be noted that this is not the No Agenda meetup that you would expect. Then also on Sunday is the local one in Plymouth, Michigan, and let's see, the Schill family continues their back office listening tour. They're in Carson City, Nevada. So I guess they're just staying there, just gambling. They're just sticking. Where's Carson City? Isn't that near Vegas?
No. Carson City's up there. It's just outside of Reno.
Oh, okay. No, good. Well, that's nice.
It's Virginia City, Carson City. Carson City is the capital of Nevada.
Okay. All right.
Reno, Carson City, Virginia City, and Sparks, kind of in the Quad Cities area.
Well, go meet the 7-foot-tall shill kid who does the Rubik's Cube with one hand and say hi to Henry. He's adorable. On Wednesday, that's Monday. On Wednesday, the Norristown, Pennsylvania, Jonamo.
His name's Evan, by the way. Evan.
Thought it was Henry.
Evan.
Oh, Evan.
Henry's the little one.
Evan's the giant.
Yeah, Evan's the giant.
He's fantastic.
And then there's the kind of the contemplative one, the thoughtful one, is in the middle.
Yes, and his name?
It's not Evan. It's not Henry. For some reason, I've saluted.
Okay.
I know him well. He's the favorite of the family. Generally.
Of course you do. I don't remember right now. We have the Norristown, Pennsylvania meetup. It's a debate watch party at 8 o'clock. That's Wednesday. Is that Wednesday?
Andre.
Oh, it's Andre. Name. Yeah, of course it's Andre. I remember now.
I think.
Colorado Springs next Thursday, the local 719 meetup, and there's many more for October and for November, so make sure you check out noagendameetups.com. If you don't find one near you, all you got to do is set one up yourself. noagendameetups.com. It's like a party.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be triggered or held to blame. You want to be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
Hey, I actually do have one end of show ISO for you to evaluate.
Yeah.
And it's also a clip that summarizes the Supreme Court trial or hearing or what testimony by Amy Coney Barrett.
It was a freak show.
And I figured that would be a good end of show ISO.
Oh, it's a beauty. I wish it was clearer, but it's a good one.
Is it good
Definitely
enough?
Better than anything else.
Is it good enough?
I think it's way good enough.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and that was John, is it John Kennedy, I think? And he said that on the floor.
It was a freak show.
Perfect.
Okay, so I thought that was
I do
funny.
have one end of show clip.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is, you had a Canadian Parliament clip. We should have more of these because they get very argumentative. It's not as good as it used to be when they're packed. But I have a good Canadian Parliament clip because it's calling out Fidel Castro's kid.
As Fidel Castro's kid?
No, he's not. Well, I shouldn't say that because we have no proof except the absolute appearance of the
dead
kid.
ringer.
All
Dead
he needs is the El Presidente cigar.
And a hat.
But he's got the beard now.
Yeah.
So he gets called out for this bullshit that the Canadians, I don't know if Canadians put up with this crap, but listen to this back and forth.
The honourable member for Carleton.
Who would bet their own money on gateway casinos? Well, it turns out nobody. Of course, the company was just downgraded to junk status, and its parent company lost 95% of its value on the stock market before being delisted altogether. In fact, financial experts in Toronto say the company vastly overvalues its assets. But there's someone who would invest other people's money in it. The casino just got the jackpot of $200 million from this government. Wow. With the financial genius over there who invested $200 million of our tax dollars in this failing casino firm, please stand up.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Did he stand up?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Conservatives play silly political games. We recognize the extraordinary.
Hey, I'll give him that, man. He stood up and went, "Yeah, that was me. That is good."
Well, here's what's interesting about this clip.
He gets a point.
He is called. He said the Prime Minister. You can hear it during the applause or the laughing.
Yeah.
He comes out and he pulls a Pence. And I realize that Pence must study this guy because this guy is really good at never really addressing the issues and going on with a bunch of bull crap.
All right, let's listen to that again because that was really. If he's pulling a Pence, he's pulling a nice fine job, and this is good. I like
Casino
it.
firm, please stand up.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
While the Conservatives play silly political games, we recognize the extraordinary situation the Canadians are facing. We're a few days away from Thanksgiving, and people are worried about whether or not they're going to see their loved ones, how they're going to make it through this pandemic, whether or not we're going to be able to gather for Christmas. And as a country and as a government, we remain focused on that. We're working with partners across the country, premiers and provinces and territories, and continue to work with all orders of government as we deliver for Canadians through this pandemic. Let the Conservatives play games. We're focused on Canadians.
The honourable member for Carleton.
Speaking of games, you've got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them.
Oh, please.
Know when to walk away. And know when to swindle a naive prime minister of $200 million of other people's money.
Flub the line.
'Cause that's exactly what Gateway Casinos has just done. They can't get money from anyone. In fact, for 10 years, their owner tried to sell the company, but nobody would buy. Well, we have new job losses of 2,000 people in the energy sector out west, 500 out east, 1 million Canadians without paychecks since the pandemic. Why is he throwing away our money in this jackpot for casino insiders?
Oh, man. This is just like us, though, down here.
Yeah.
Same stuff.
Yeah, he's throwing away the money to some to swindle the prime minister.
Not only
I got a kick. We got that. I got a Canadian.
He pulled the Pence. He pulled the Pence extended.
Oh, the Pence. Yeah, he did. It's a Pence on steroids.
Yeah.
He said nothing.
No, he's great at that.
That's all he's good at. Okay. And the Canadians lap it up for some reason.
Yeah. We are way over time today. But of course, we had a lot of fun things to talk about the meetup and lots of good support. For those who are waiting to hear about the Safari Club and Alan Perot, I have it all teed up. It'll be fine for Sunday. The world's not going to melt down. CIA whistleblower is not going to be on mainstream media anytime soon. And we have discussed this guy 7 years ago with the exact same story. So it's always, do you get that feeling? Have you noticed that lately? Like stuff that we've talked about a decade ago is now true and accepted? Or is just coming to light? Or is just coming to light? Yeah, but it's day after every single day. It's like, oh man, we talked about that 7 years ago, and now it's a breaking CIA whistleblower. Like, no, it's kind of known.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
No, nothing. I just wanted to share the experience.
As long as the donations are doing well, I'm a happy camper.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the crux of all things. Which means we will gladly see you again on Sunday for another deconstructive exercise of the media, whatever's left of it, whatever isn't controlled by the CIA, the Mockingbirds, Wall Street, go Brolf. Coming up, so we do have two nice end of show mixes, quickies, Jesse Coy Nelson and Rolando Gonzalez. Nick the Rat will be on NoAgendaStream.com right after this program. And coming to you from FEMA Region number 6, it is that's on the governmental maps, which is Austin, Texas, capital of the Drone Star State. I'm here in Opportunity Zone 33 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's apparently going to get to 100 degrees today, at least in some parts of the valley. I'm John C. Dvorak.
We're looking at 100 here today as well. Some similarities where we can be so different. Remember us at Dvorak.org/NA. We'll talk to you on Sunday. Until then, adios, mofos, and such.
Joe Biden.
When I'm a human fly, I said,
Joe Biden.
I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate.
Joe Biden.
You know, we have to come together. That's why I'm running for the Senate.
Joe Biden.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
And then that's how they're going to poison him. They're trying to kill him. That's not that